Last time on D&D.
Yeah, I think everything else should be good. Because I don't have anything set up for the last time we were going to do this. Oh, and
Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons, D.
stop my music. And if you would turn on some jams, Tony.
Oh, can I pick the music?
Yeah, don't pick anything dumb.
All right. Hold on. Let me get some good music going. Let's see.
Alright, and stream is up.
So, where last we left our heroes, y'all had just begun y'all's first couple days within the city limits of Mina. Y'all stayed at
Not
a
Mina.
ratty hole. No, not Mina. Tarsus. Y'all stayed at a ratty hole tavern/inn called the Belching Wenches, where y'all procured rooms and stayed. Zorlin fumbled around with his guild a little bit. Y'all went on a shopping spree. Y'all hired an enchanter to enchant your various weapons and armaments. Y'all have purchased fine clothing to hopefully gain entrance into the noble district, or the higher district, as some. Y'all have just acquired rooms at the most expensive inn in Tarsus called the King's Rest. And Shadek had a run-in with those he is indebted to. And Lucky found himself a very expensive arrow. So, y'all wake up bright and early the next morning. What would y'all like to do?
I want to go talk to Darius.
All right. Upon coming downstairs, he is downstairs. There are other fellow patrons within there is a restaurant area for this place. Very nice tablecloth. And he's having himself some breakfast.
Darius,
Hold on. What about you, Luck? Are you going down with him?
Yeah. I feel, I have my night of gaming with the kiddo, so, I'm good. I want to go have some breakfast.
All right. Accompanied with Darius is two other figures that y'all saw before within the Belching Wenches. One, he is a very tall figure with a black cloak on. This time the hood has been pulled back and it reveals dark black hair that goes down to about a shoulder, and he has a very well kept beard, jet black beard. Another one is the blacks. He has a little bit tan, like real tan skin with this auburn burnt red hair and a fine mustache that stretches all the way into his sideburns. And he's currently speaking with both of them.
what race are these people?
Make an intelligence check. Well, now they look human.
They look human?
Yeah.
Can I roll an intelligence check to see if there's any pointing of the ears or any just strange features that might indicate some other kind of non-human parentage?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a perception?
Yep.
16.
The one in the dark robes, he looks pretty human. The one off to the side, you might believe he must be mixed with something else, but you're unsure.
Okay, so I don't know if there's any like orcish heritage or anything like that.
No, definitely not orcish or any other type of anything you could assume with any beast. Like he's not part tabaxi or part. You assume like he might be of the multiple different variants of human races. He might have a little bit of some other blood in him. There's just a couple features like his eyes are just a little different. You know what I mean?
Do I know if he might be a half-elf?
No, he's not.
Okay. All right.
Half elves normally they still retain their pointy ears, and his Yours look like a normal human's.
Okay. I walk up to Darius and say, Darius, might I have a word in somewhere that's slightly less open?
Darius, he looks up to you and just states,
Brandon, mute, please.
Yeah, hold on.
"You need to get a headset, bro."
Well, you know what? I have a headset. I usually have it. I just can't freaking use it right now because I don't know what the hell it is because I wasn't expecting to have to do this shit. So,
Is that your truck?
you gotta have to kind of...
All right.
Yeah, it's the air conditioning.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the van.
All right.
Okay.
Darius looks up to you and he just wide open arms, still seated, and he goes, "Shadek, well, nice of you to join us this morning.
Yes, it is a bright and sunny day.
Please allow me to introduce you to my compatriots." And he points to the gentleman with the red hair. He said, "This is Anders Carmen Francis."
Wait, did I ever tell him my actual name, or did I introduce myself as Ulrich?
Ulrich. That's right. So
Okay.
he retcon that. He goes. He
Gotcha.
points at the man with the red hair and he says, "This, Ulrich, this is the Anders Carmen Francis." And then, but along with him,
Hey, guys. Actually, Darius said that he already knew who Shadek actually was and knew his father.
Oh, well, I think
Because he
Darius
gave the-
would
he
know
gave
about
the
my
one-
alias, though.
Yeah, but he gave the wanted poster to us saying he knew exactly who you were.
That's right. Well, I would hope Darius would use my
yeah, he would have
alias.
used I want to keep saying Yusan Redleaf for some reason. Urson Redleaf.
Ulrich
but,
Jason. Should I
Ulrich
change
Jason.
my name for the time
No,
being?
it's okay.
All right.
So he tells you this is the Anders Carmen Francis, and the guy with the orange hair, he stands up and he just, "Aha! My name is Anders. It is great to meet you on this morn." And he goes to shake both of y'all's hands at the same time.
It's a pleasure, Anders.
"Please sit with us today. We will speak of valor." And he slides out a couple chairs and he sits back down himself, grabbing his mug and drinking it.
I hesitantly sit down in a chair, but like I don't get comfortable. I don't lean forward. I'm very much sitting straight up in the chair, kind of glancing to my left and to my right.
I sit in a chair right next to Anders and get comfy.
And then Darius points to motions to the other gentleman, and he goes, "This is Svidka." And Svidka nods to each of you. He is a man of few words, but let's just say swift action.
Pleasure, Svidka.
He nods
And
again.
I want to mumble under my breath that he tastes good with Red Bull, but I'm not going to say that.
So,
You know, Red Bull and vodka.
you are
anyway.
in, how do we say, trusting company. If you have anything to say to me, you can say it in front of my compatriots.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who wants breakfast? Because I'm really hungry.
Well, Darius already has a plate in front of him. Both Svidka and Anders have mugs in front of them, so they kind of, we're already eating. And then Darius snaps his fingers, and someone comes over. It's another young person. You assume that there's a lot of young people employed at this hotel.
I just say, whatever you have on special for the morning is fine.
That'll be shrimp and grits, sire.
That works perfectly, thank you.
And for you, any motions towards you, Lucky?
Shrimp and grits? With the extra shrimp, please.
He nods, and as fast as he came, he left. He leaves.
Now, I must be honest with you, Darius, and I'm speaking kind of a low, hushed tone. At this point, I have begun to lean forward. I'm rather anxious about this meeting that we'll be accompanying you to, for I feel my information is limited. Under normal circumstances, I would have come up with a backup plan, and a backup plan to that backup plan. But seeing as how my pool of information is rather small, I have found myself shamingly unable to come up with any sort of tactic or route, plan, anything that might have a high degree of success. And I was hoping to remedy this issue with you. If you could cast any information on any important figures who may be there, perhaps any entrances or exits coming into or out of the location, maybe at a point when you possibly believe there will be the greatest opening for the prince's rescue. I need to speak with him, and obviously I cannot draw my weapon, for as you know, the weapon that I wield is not one that is commonly known. However, it is one that would very easily identify me. So there needs to be a non-violent solution to this, to rescue the prince and not draw attention to ourselves. And I was curious if you could offer any insight to what you believe may be the best course of action.
Fuck it. I'll make the distraction if you need me to.
No, I think you're mistaken there, Ulrich. You speak of rescue, but the prince is not in prison. He is staying. He can leave at any point that he chooses.
I'm aware of that.
And
But
let me ask you this. Let's say that you do somehow convince the prince to leave. How can you, and no offense, but your band of misfits here, protect the prince more than the Council of Tarsus? He is safer here than he will be out on the run as you and Serge are.
Well, I don't know, but, you know.
I didn't hear anything you just said. My mic went out for some reason.
How is the prince safer with you on the run and Serge than he is here in Tarsus?
You have a valid point. That is what I'm trying to discover, where this prince might be the safest. Because it is no coincidence that South Mina has come here, with the prince being here as well. That's not a coincidence. They are here for him. I am certain of it.
Ah, that's what the council meeting is for. They are going to try to convince the council to relinquish the prince back to the city of Mina.
And this cannot happen. We cannot let this happen.
I don't believe it's for us for discussion. It's for the council. If we go to the council, you have to remember that you are not a part of the council or the how do you say the members at the seat, the ones who are being the words, the ones who are calling the meeting. So you can't really voice your own opinions during a council meeting. You would thusly get kicked out. I'm just going merely for observation.
Hey, Darius.
So let's say at this meeting, the council decides that they will relinquish the prince to South Mina. At what point would he be leaving? Would it be immediately, or would it be the following morning?
Yes, Lucky. Ask your question. I will answer them both.
Then what do you want us at the council for? Just to watch it play out?
Oh, no, I was just asking if y'all would like to join. Normally these things are real boring and they go on for hours, and I was just hoping to have another compatriot there to help me people watch and see what I don't see and maybe make fun of a couple nobles. Read it?
So, Darius,
I enjoy making fun of nobles.
in the event that the council decides to relinquish the prince.
See,
What
there's that
if the
word
prince
again.
was-
Relinquish. Relinquish means to give up property. They do not own the prince. That's
So the
something
prince
not
only
understanding.
goes with them if he chooses.
Correct. Now, the council meeting is because If it is not granted to the new king of China, then there will be war. And that is what they're trying to not happen. So they've granted him this.
Order. What you have to understand is that what he's trying to say is if you're going to convince the prince not to go with them, then you're going to have to be able to talk to him. And there's only one way of doing that.
That is what I'm
Yes.
trying to determine. How may I speak with the prince? I don't know
We
what to do.
kidnap him.
I don't know what to do here.
I kidnap him. I will kidnap him.
I would not
I will make a
suggest
distraction.
this.
I kidnap him. I'll be fine. I promise.
In this
I
course of
kidnap him.
events, we paint ourselves as the villains.
But are you not already painted as a villain?
I wish to not
And I'm a
add
pirate.
fuel to
I'm
that
automatically
fire.
a villain. I'm automatically a villain. I'm a pirate. No one looks good on me.
I thought you were a privateer.
Same difference. You already
Lucky,
know
this world
this.
is confusing.
I'm so lost. We had a whole conversation about the privateer and the pirate were different.
Excuse me, if you would not mind for a second. The prince is held with the Ulven family. Shadek, I know slightly of your reputation, but... And, Zoylan, no offense to you, but not even you and half of the members of your private guild could reach anyone inside of the Ulvarin family. Not inside their compound.
I can get in. As
You
long
can
as I
try.
can know what if I know what one of their guards look like, I can get in very quickly.
So how are you going to get past their magical walls? You may be able to deceit your way through and lie. One more lie. Then what happens when you come across a magical ward?
Well, let's see. Magical words. They happen, I figure it out, and Fallout fails, I disappear.
Just
Can I ask a question? Is the
Sure.
prince in charge here?
No.
Or-
The prince ran here because his homeworld was taken captive by his cousin, and some say that his cousin is a tyrant, some say that he's justified and his nobility gained and earned, but he was ordered by he was brought here by men ordered by his father during the retakeover and merger of the kingdoms, should I say.
Okay. But if
So
he's
Darius.
not being kept anywhere that he doesn't want to be, can't we just go to wherever he goes and try to talk to him? Or ask for an audience?
You know, Ulrich, I think I have the best plan. We go to this meeting, we see how it plays out, and then we figure it out from there. But I think the best solution to your problem, as you might say, is by just going, hearing, listening, and seeing what's going to go.
So let me ask you, Darius. Do you agree with my friend here? If you found yourself in my situation, because, and answer this under the assumption that I believe whether he is allowed or whether it is up to his freedom or not to choose where he goes, that the South will not be satisfied leaving here empty-handed, whether that means involuntarily or not. Knowing that, and under the pretense of that being my belief, how would you progress from this point if you found yourself in my shoes?
Well, it's kind of hard. I would seek parley, so I was no longer on the run, for one. And once I was no longer on the run, I would live out the rest of my life happily. And I would care not politics. They quite bore me.
So then, what is your personal stake in this? If politics bore you so, what is your reasoning for wanting to attend?
That is a fine question that you bring up upon me there, Ulrich. I don't know. I just find it amusing sometimes, and I would like to see how this meeting plays out because it might change the world. Because let's say that the council seeks to just give up the prince. What happens then? Or what happens when the council decides no and they just outright tell them no, they will not? Now the council looks like they're the bad guys because they are now imprisoning the prince because they are not allowing the kingdom to take capture of him. Then who knows? Even the High King himself might step in.
So it's out of curiosity for you. You wish to see firsthand the events that may shape the future of this land.
Aye, and I would like to know if certain others someone join. This is quite a big event, and the High King himself knows about all this happening.
So, I suppose I appreciate the help you are able to offer, but to me, it sounds like based on the information that you have provided, there is not really much that I can do at this point. I will attend this council with you. If an opening presents itself there, I will take it. If not, then a further plan may be required. However, you give me your word that our presence alongside yours will not be challenged.
Challenged in which way?
Allowed?
Oh, you mean someone will stop you from entering?
Correct.
No, as long as you're with me, they will.
And what is it about you that grants you such certain audience? I understand you're famous and all that, but it is not typical on the political stage for one's status as a celebrity to be merit enough to warrant one's attendance.
After saying that, Anders, he gives a loud, bellowing chuckle, and he goes, "Aye, Darius, that is the question of the day, is it not?" And then Darius gives him a nod. Ulrich, you ask a lot of questions. I like that about you already. So, at midday is when they already had introductions yesterday, which is, thank God, they normally go for hours, and all they do is name off each other and the titles and what the meeting will be about, but today shall be the first seating. I only wish to see this one. They might have 3 or 4 seating.
I find there is no resource that is more valuable than knowledge.
I see the same as you do, then.
So, Lucky, Zorlan, are you prepared for what may ensue? Because at this point in time, my approach is that I do not have one until more information provides itself.
Sorry, I've actually been playing with my dice for like the last 5 minutes.
I told you, Ulrich. I told you. I got your back, no matter what.
And Lucky, what about you? Will you not be bold?
I've just been playing with my dice for like the last couple minutes while this conversation's been going on. I don't. Can we play dice or sticks?
Perhaps a bowl of milk and a ball of twine would be satisfactory.
I just want I just want to play with sticks.
Let's speak on other news. The reason why I'm meeting with Anders and Svidka here is because they are on another job. Would y'all care to partake in other activities while you're around town? Maybe, I promise that the gold will be worth it. But they both have 2 separate tasks, and you can only know the task once you arrive at the location. So these are secret meetings.
I assume none of these tasks would require me to kill anyone.
It depends. If someone was to pull up their blade against your throat, would you not take them out?
If they were evil, perhaps I would do so. But I do not desire to take a life unless it is absolutely necessary.
Well, Svidka will be searching for certain information, and Anders will be helping a local town just right outside. They're having problems. The locals around the area. Locals as in goblins, kobolds, and the such. And that's as far as I can tell you that.
I vote for Anders then.
If I can partake in either of these jobs without jeopardizing what it is that I am trying to achieve here, and eventually reclaiming my homeland, then I would partake in these quests.
Svidka takes a sip from his glass and sets it down, and he goes, "You wish to leave with me, we leave at dusk tonight."
And remind me, what time is this council supposed to be?
Noon
Tomorrow?
today.
Today. So this would not conflict.
And Andrew speaks up. He says, Ulrich, right? My good man. I will be leaving immediately after the council meeting. If you wish to leave with me, we shall ride."
If it is clear that the prince's safety is in no immediate jeopardy, I will leave with you then.
Whom? Whom will you be leaving with? Me or Svidka?
I think we're only going to have time to do one of the 2 there, Ulrich.
So remind me again what each of your quests is.
Well, I will be going on a great hunt. It will lead to valor, glory, and wealth.
Ulrich, I haven't been able to go hunting in like over a week. Can we please go with Anders?
That's fine. We'll go with Anders.
Now, if you go with me, you will have plenty of conversation. If you go with Svidka, he doesn't talk much. He probably won't speak to you at all, let alone even know he's there.
We shall accompany you, Anders.
Perfect.
What about you, Zolan? Does that suit you?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sweet. Is it better with the truck noise?
I still hear the truck noise, but if you mute yourself whenever you're not talking, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I'm trying to use GPS at the same time, guys. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess I'm fine for it. Whatever. Is this better? Can you not hear now? Nothing now?
That's a lot better. I can still hear your truck, but it's not nearly as loud.
So, for the sake of brevity, do y'all want to just skip a couple hours, or do y'all have stuff to do for the meeting?
I think we can just skip to the meeting. At least I'm good with that.
I want to see if Anders wants to play sticks.
Is that a gambling game?
I mean, it can be.
Then no, I do not gamble.
We get a gentleman's bet.
Would Zorlin know of any of any people that like captains of the sea people, of people that, you know, not privateers, but like actual like captains of armies and stuff like that, of what they would wear and what clothing they would wear?
Yeah. Of Tarsus, you would.
Okay, because I'm going to kind of step around a corner where I'm not visible, and I'm going to change my entire outfit to look exactly like one of those.
Hey, Brandon, I think you can multi-screen Discord and GPS.
It depends on what kind of
Yeah,
phone he
can y'all
has.
still hear it?
Yeah.
I can, but it's like itty bitty and I can barely see it and I'll miss it. But
Gotcha.
I can mute it. I can go to the mini screen, that's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna go step behind the corner and do all that. So I look just like a captain of a higher ranking guardsman.
We did buy suits to get into this thing.
Yes, but I can use my weapon. I can use a weapon at this point. I can open carry.
So, by the way, both of you noticed that, as before, Lucky, you saw Svidka had 2 daggers on him, and Anders had before he had a greatsword. Now he has a very regal looking rapier on his side. And a smaller dagger on his right side. So they do have weapons on them.
Okay. And nobody seems to be taking any issue with it. It's open carry, I'm guessing.
No. There's no such thing as carry. They're knights. They're knighted.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly what Zorlin wants to look like. He wants to look like he's a knight from some fucking goddamn where that he knows of, that he can get away with that shit.
Well, you would know that you would have to get an emblem of some kind from somebody. So you would have to get some kind of token. So if somebody ever stops you, like a guard stops you and tells you to present it, you have to present that token and hand it over to them, and they'll inspect it and give it back. Kind of like a badge.
Would he know that the guards have them?
No, guards do not have them. They're not guards are guards. They're not knights.
Well, then I'm gonna kind of pull Ulrich off to the side and just quietly as I possibly can whisper in his ear, like, I need to find a knight that we can incapacitate for the time being.
Do not believe this would be wise.
It will be wise, I promise.
And then what happens when this knight wakes up?
Well, he'll wake up in a very, very dark room that he can't see and no one can hear him in.
And then he will realize everything he is missing and report the fact that he was assaulted within the city walls and that his identifying equipment has been taken from
Here's the
him.
thing. That's if he can get out of the very dark hole. Because I won't let him out of the very dark hole until it is time for him to be let out of the dark hole and we leave. And we are gone from this place. He will not know who has stolen his identity, even if he does get out of the very dark hole. If I see him and if I see people asking questions, then I will make it a show that he is the one that is trying to be the imposter.
And what if when you strike him to incapacitate him, if your blow does not quite complete the job?
Well, that's why you're there.
Then we rot in a prison cell for the rest of our existence.
Not if you can make yourself look like somebody else, and if my blow doesn't do it, your blow should.
Yes, except my blow is typically very loud.
We're not
God,
trying to
that
kill
sounded
him, we're
wrong.
trying to
Anyway,
We're trying to incapacitate him, not to kill him.
see, unfortunately,
So,
my weaponry is only good for one thing. That's why I use it sparingly.
We said we were going to use weapons. I mean, I punched a lot of people in the face and they've gone night-night.
I'm not exactly the
I
most
punched him in the
physically
right spot.
mighty.
Neither am I. But listen, we'll come up with a plan. We gotta figure it out, because if I can get there, then I can wear the armor. I can become somebody else, and without an issue.
We'll play it by ear, but I believe it's too risky, Zolan.
What is it with y'all and risky shit? Fuck. Make sure it's back in my boat. Everything's risky in the boat. Sometimes you have to take a risk in order to get what you want.
I don't believe the payoff is worth the risk. So, as a
Here's the
result,
thing,
you get a
what if we can
fancy suit
find-
of armor.
What if we can find a knight that's going to be with the prince?
Any
can
knight
always-
that would be accompanying the prince would be far too mighty for us to fell. I assure you of that.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
So, Lucky, can you please give me a perception check?
Here, could you mute yourself for a second, Brandon?
Yep.
So, every now and then, while y'all are playing y'all's game, you see, Anders, he looks up from the table from you in the game as he's enjoying himself quite thoroughly with the game, you and him, but he looks up to go and he kind of just side eyes Svidka and then goes back to the game.
Like, what kind of side eyes? Is in suspicion?
Not really suspicion, more or less like kind of like when you would go hunting with your own hunting party, there's certain codes that y'all would speak to each other about, and you think that maybe he might be waiting for Svidka to use some kind of code or something, or just making sure he's there. But Svidka hasn't moved, still just sitting there relaxed, drinking his drink, hasn't moved or anything.
Can I take a look at Svidka to see if there's any reaction to these looks?
Yeah, he's just staring at his mug. Just drinking his mug, minding his own business.
I mean,
You know what? Fine, Shadek. We'll do it your way.
I just think we need more information. At this point, what you are suggesting is a desperate move, but I do not believe our circumstances have called for such desperation yet at the moment.
Well, here's the thing. If we get too desperate, I'm just gonna kill people. It just happens. You know, take the prince hostage, and, you know, go from there. That's plan C, okay? That'll be plan C.
I understand. Don't kill
Plan
anyone
C
innocent.
happens. No. But I will kidnap the prince, and then we'll just take him to a very dark place, and we can question him there, or convince him there, and they won't catch us, I promise. My ship's fast.
We will see what happens.
And if anything else fails, I'm pretty sure Falcon will warn me about something later on. I don't even know where he's at the moment. Speaking of that bird.
Let us reconvene with our newfound. I don't even want to say allies.
Patriots?
Compatriots.
We can do compatriots. No, I haven't had an ally since since Virgil's in a while. Besides you, you are an ally, but most people are just compatriots. They come and they go. They live and they die. It's just how it works. But yes, let's get back to the table. I need a drink.
So, Lucky, roll 2d20s, and I'm going to roll 2d20s, and we'll see who wins.
By the way,
I
I'm
rolled a
flagging
16
down.
and a 7, so it's 1 and 1. Your 20 beats his 16, and his 7 beats your 5. So y'all are 1-on-1 in your game.
All right.
He has
By the
no
way,
idea
I'm-
how he's playing, but
I'm flagging down the waitress or whoever it is serving people and just getting coffee.
yeah, it arrives very quickly.
And I want a strong ale.
There. Like, this is like the best wait staff y'all have ever seen. The moment you order something, they immediately run and go get it. They don't go outside and take a smoke break and go chit chat and
It's
talk
not
shit
Waffle
about.
House.
Yeah.
Though I
They
would
go
like
get
to
it.
order from them, a thing of hash browns that's scattered and smothered.
Yeah, and a potato.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's there.
Wait, can I say that for my shrimp and grits are cheese grits?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, continue.
Zolan's gonna order the most regal, high-class meal that they have possible. Like the biggest plate of the most high-dollar, high-end meal that they have, and he wants it on his table.
Yep, you get it.
Cool. He's gonna eat it. He hasn't had food this good
Yep.
in forever. He's been
Yeah.
on
It's just a
ship.
plate of bacon, just stacked
Yeah.
up bacon.
That's what I was thinking. But, okay. So, y'all want to go ahead and skip ahead to the... So, we'll skip ahead. Y'all have been on y'all's way up to the Northern District. You get to the gates, and Darius steps off to the side with a guard, and then another guard capped as Zorlin recognizes that this is a captain that steps out of one of the side doors. And y'all come to the giant wall with
Okay,
many gates
can you
all over
repeat
it.
that one more time about Zolan knowing who it is?
You don't know who it is. You recognize that it is a captain, a guard, that
Okay.
steps off to the side with Darius. And Darius speaks to him for a minute, and then he comes back and tells y'all, well, everything is fine now. Don't you worry. And then the doors open, and y'all have access to the Noble District.
By the way, I think I said last session that my gun is assembled at this point in my bag.
Your Derringer is.
I would like
Well,
to say. Oh, okay.
It's my regular gun. I just have my Derringer like
The
where I
reload
load
is
my-
2.
Where I load, where I load my bullets into. It would have the damage die of the other gun, but I have a reloaded too.
All right, what's up, Lucky?
I just saying before I leave the inn, I would change into my new suit.
Right, of course. So,
Yeah, I'm wearing the garb.
Yeah, I'm
this
wearing
is-
my red and blue suit.
this Noble District is like night and day from the Lower District. The buildings here are immaculate. Most of them made out of marble rather than just cobblestone and boulders stuck together. Everything is hand chiseled. The street signs are chiseled in marble with fine lanterns and sconces on the lampposts. The street signs have names on them. Very fine, not like gemstones, but like a lot of you could tell they're fake gemstones in the streets with the cobblestone. It looks very regal for absolutely no reason up here. A lot of the buildings have stained glass windows. Darius shows y'all around, pointing out different places. Oh, that's a monument for this place. That's a monument for this place. This is this, and as he takes y'all through the Northern District, straight to the middle, where the courthouse. Y'all get to
Okay,
the
like, do we hear anything as we're walking through the streets? Any strange smells? Any
make some
odd
perception
things
check.
stand out?
I'll make a perception check for you, Zorlin. You got a
Thank you.
15. Let me see if I can find your character.
It's like +8. If not more.
+4 for perception.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm
Yeah,
proficient.
your wisdom is +1. So that's what I roll? I rolled a 15, so 19. Wow, y'all rolled real high. So at some point, as all of y'all entered in through the gates, at some point, y'all notice that Svidka is no longer with you, for one. And Anders has, since y'all walked into the Noble District, Anders hasn't taken his hand off of his sword the whole time.
Hey, Anders, how long have you known Svidgar?
Svidka.
Oh, how long have you known Svidga?
Svidka. It's alright.
Svidga.
Ka.
Ka.
With a K. A K-A at the Ka. Anyways. We've known each other for 10, 12 years now. We've adventured together.
Have you ever gotten a strange read off of Svedka? Or do you
Svidka.
believe Svedka, do you believe he is trustworthy?
Well, yes. He's the most trustful friend I know. We've saved each other's lives dozens of times. Next time, when we continue our journey, I will tell you all of the great hunt of Alazar. It was
Then
our entire party group. We were hunting down Alazar through the mountains of Torbarden. It was a great and a great journey through those mountains. Dangerous terrains they were. I tell you, you've never seen so many Yetis in one place. And he continues on like the whole time. No matter how many times y'all try to interrupt him, continue to talk. And
I'm gonna wait for him to finish, and whenever he finishes, I'm just gonna say, "This that sounds quite an epic adventure. However, where is your friend now?"
That is a fine question. Also, hold on. See how this works. So as he's telling y'all this story, you all feel inspired that your next adventure with him, Lucky, you feel like this dude knows battle. He knows how to hunt. Just him hunting down Yeti, snow wolves, and fighting the great white wolf in Torbarden. Like, you are excited and ecstatic to go with him. And all the ancient ruins, Shadek, of that he speaks about, and how they were able to find ruins everywhere they go on all of their adventures, but yet he was unable to decipher them, unable to crack the code. That intrigues you. And Zorlin, the loot that he speaks of, the treasure, that inspires you. So all of you can increase your temporary hit points by 8.
All right. Okay. Because he has the inspiring leader feat.
He is an inspiring leader.
Well, I'm glad we talked to the guy. All right.
Now, it was a little bit lengthier than of a story, but y'all were just so enthralled with it that y'all didn't even notice that you just went from the gates to a 45-minute walk up to the other parts. And the whole time, Darius is kind of like, oh yeah, that's the gravesite of, the old Lord Valatin.
Is anybody like stopping in their tracks when they see Darius? Like, because I mean, he's a celebrity, so are they like gawking at him as he's walking by and shit like that?
Not up here, they're not.
But in the lower district, they were.
Yes.
Okay.
Up here, they just see him and mumble and just keep going. They don't really seem to care a whole lot. Especially for... Y'all are also getting some side eyes, because here in the Noble District, everybody knows everybody. Everybody has dirt on everybody. So this is a very peculiar thing to see, just a group of random people walking through the street.
And have I noticed any wanted posters that have my face on it?
There is no posters, no advertisement of any kind on any. There's no billboards, no street signs, no graffiti tags, no homeless people or drunks walking the street.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
let's see all that with y'all's perception.
Okay.
Anything else y'all would be looking for?
Any odd conversation, perhaps anything that
I just want
I
to ask.
might deem useful.
Oh, okay.
What's up? Lemmy?
I just want to ask Anders. Thinking of all the dangers and everything, you seem a little apprehensive here. Is there a reason for that?
Well, I just don't trust these noble people. They say they're noble. They don't know the meaning of the word noble. I'll tell you, once I was a great knight there, Lucky. I was a great and noble knight. Let me tell you about my knight, and how the nobility courses through my veins. And once again, he continues on with another story of nobility, knight's code. It sounds a lot like the measure that Surge has spoken about once or twice. Like, there's rules that they attend to. How you fight your enemy face first. You don't stab them in the back. And along those lines, you help out who you can. But he does not trust these people up here. So, you'll get to the courthouse. This is a giant mausoleum building with large stone marble pillars in the front. A flight of staircase goes up, and there are two smaller buildings that look similar to each side. How far back you could roughly guess, approaching from one of the side streets, is that this building goes back a couple hundred feet. Walking up the steps, there's no guards posted outside, but once you go in through these large, regal, and ornate red wooden doors with different designs on each one, marking the different family houses, you see these gold discs that are inscribed with different noble houses of the council. You see one that has the Forgeheart family, shows a picture of a dwarf in dwarven armor with a large hammer. Looks as though he is smiting down on a anvil. Another picture of a scale with a mountain and a tree on one side and 3 golden bars on the other. Another picture of a small bird off to the side. And then you see on the far left, I do not have my Excel spreadsheet up. Hold on one second, guys.
All
I
right.
apologize. It's the one thing of notes that I do not have up. Let's see. So you see the one with the bird, the dwarf, and then you see one other symbol off to the left that looks like it has an altar with 2 candles on each side. And in the middle of this altar is a sun with a crescent moon on one side. In the middle of the altar, slightly raised above.
Do I recognize that symbol?
You
Like, is there any religious connotations to it? I don't think I'm proficient, but I don't know if I'd have any idea.
You can give me a check, just a straight intelligence check.
This
Or a
would be
religion.
history?
Yeah. You can give me a religion check.
Okay, but no history.
Nope.
All right. 16.
I
It
want to do a
kinda-
check.
Yeah, go ahead. Left. Hold on, let me Let me hotkey him my bar. So you rolled a 2 for a total of 2. So now you're not familiar with it. But Shada, it looks kind of like a multitude of different gods. It looks like Lathander's symbol is here, and various others. There's
You
even
mentioned
some for
sun, so I was
Agma.
just wondering if like a monitor was represented by it.
Yeah, you can see in the middle of the altar, from the actual picture of the altar itself, there's an open-faced book. And so it kind of rings a bell that like there's the Son of Lathander and the Book of Agma, but it's almost like that must be some kind of clerical house.
Okay.
And then Darius points at the bird. It looks like a large bird with its wings outstretched and it's facing up. And Darius tells you, that is the symbol of House Ulavan. Ulavan. Ulavan? Yeah, Ulavan. He says that is the oldest house, ran by Farlan Ulavan himself. That is the house that houses the prince. And that
Are
is
they
also
benevolent?
the house that your friend Aloran and Serge went to go meet up with. That is her uncle that runs that house. Well, cousin.
So they're primarily elvish.
Yes, they are. Which Ulavan is a great name. It even stretches all the way to Asta,
No,
where
wait,
another member of the Ulavan family is currently sitting on the king's council there as well. One of the
Hey.
noble houses.
Ulrich, if that's where the prince is staying, why don't we just ask Lauren if we can go meet the prince? Maybe she's doing somebody that can set us up with that.
That is a remarkable idea, Lucky.
If Aloran is with Farlan, well, you will call him in the presence of others. You will address everyone by their titles. Allow me to. Once we get in there, I will point out the ones that stand out, the ones you need to know. And when you speak of them, speak with their formal title. It is Lord Farlan Ulavan. And then you also have of the church family, you have Prior Father Marquise.
Alright, hold on, I'm typing this stuff down. How do you spell Ulavan?
L-U-A...
Wait, is there a U in there?
Yeah, U-L-V-A... or A-V-E-N.
And Farlan.
F-A-R-L-Y-N.
So, and then Ulavan is U-L-A-V-E-N.
U-L-A-V... Yes.
Okay. Anyway, continue. Sorry, just
So-
for my notes.
You're good.
So there's Lord Farlan Ulavan, and you were about to say another name.
Yes. You have the prior and father. You have the prior of the church. He is also on the council itself. He is the head of the church. His name is Father Marquise. They do not have a symbol out here because they do not think it is necessary. Then you also have Forgeheart family. You have Uthar Forge. He is a very grumpy dwarf. You'll know. He's the only
You
dwarf
said
on the
his name
council.
was Ulthan?
Uthar.
Uthar. Okay.
U-T-H-A-R. Forgeheart. He might or might not be at this meeting. If he's not at this meeting, then one of his other peasants or whatever they are will be.
And what is Lord? Is it Lord Uthar Forgeheart?
Yes, they're all lords when you speak of them here. But if you were to go and meet with Uthar Forgeheart, you would just call him Forgeheart.
Understood.
or Uthar. He doesn't like formal titles when addressed directly. But during these council meetings, it is procedure to do such. Now, you also have one more house that you should be aware of, as they run the law here within Tos. This is House Aman, with Dubar Aman. They run all of the law enforcement within the town. And as you walk in, you see another symbol on the ground that this symbol is it's a little different. It shows almost like
Is
a house.
House
of-
Amon, is that human?
Yes.
Okay.
It kind of shows like a castle with a flag above it and a portcullis in the front with 2 guards standing on each side of the portcullis. Then, and the one symbol that you saw outside, that is House Lundar. House Lundar, they do a lot of the paperwork within the town. They are the ones who address nobility and do the research of noble families and bloodlines. They also are the ones that do the ceremonies of knighthoods for anyone who is to be knighted. They will send their associates out to go and perform these rituals. They also do, and if you want any type of money flow that flows through the city is done through House Ulavan. They are the ones who run the bank.
Okay, so Amon runs the guard. Ulavan runs the bank. What does Forge Heart run?
Are you asking Darius?
Yeah, I'm asking. Sorry, I should have done that in character. What does Forge Heart run?
Forge Heart is the largest family. They run the mine that operate right outside of the city of Tarsus. They are the largest mines here within, which you would know this. I think I told you this earlier, when y'all first got here. The Forge Heart family runs the mines east of the city. They're the hugest operating mine within the realm. Their craftsmanship is somewhat unlike any other. And you'll also know that they are no longer taking knighthoods, as y'all know the Merchants Guild does now. Now
And
the
who runs
Forge
the
Heart,
Merchants Guild? Or I'm asking, who runs the Merchants Guild?
it's not whom runs the Merchants Guild, because it's not one single person. They have their own little mini council, which is why there's such an uproar. There is no nobility tied to it. There's no real order, no bloodline. It is just a group of people that are paid by the Forge Heart family. The Forge Heart family funnels them their goods and money so that they have became a upper class guild. This is the
I
first
see.
time in a long time that a guild has sat on the council. Now, the Merchants Guild does have one member that sits upon the council as they decreed, even though that the Merchants Guild is ran by several members. They have one particular speaker.
And how is it that the Merchants Guild has come to this position? Was there some sort of treaty or a contract that needed to be signed? And if so, how long has that been in place?
That I do not know. I just know that within the past year, they have grown exponentially. And thus, here recently, the Forge Heart family has pledged their allegiance with the Merchants Guild openly, which is something else that doesn't normally occur. For a noble family to pledge allegiance and support to a guild is obscene, as guilds are not ran by noble families, but many members of common folk.
I see.
Yes, I see too, says Lucky. Not seeing any of this.
Sorry, I'm just taking this opportunity to get some more lore.
So, Sean, if you were playing Shiziki, how much of this information would you be taking notes of right now?
All of it.
Any other questions? Oh,
No, I
there
think that
is.
suffices.
There
Unless
is
you believe
one.
there's some more information that may be of value.
Remember this name, Master Karis Dumont. I would not be the one to speak on them, but that is the master of the freelance. Freelance Guild, I know, opens many job boards and other things. You would have to ask Anders more about the Freelance Guild, as he visits there quite often with Svedka. And they actually have their own group.
Just one question. You said, is that the same person that's the main speaker for the Merchants Guild? You said they typically have one representative that speaks for them.
Yes. No, that is not Master Karis.
Who's the main
Master-
speaker that represents the Merchants Guild?
That is Lauren Enarenthi.
All right, Tony, can you spell that?
Well, it's spelled like Lauren, L-U-A-R-N.
You mean Lauren?
Yeah.
Oh no, is it really Luran?
R-A or L-U-A-R-E. Lauren. Anarinthine. A-N-A-R-I-N-T-H-I-N-E.
That's a cool name. Kudos.
Thank you. Just post it right there. So there is a security checkpoint as you enter in, which Darius kind of mumbles under his breath about how these guys are wearing the same suits as you saw back at the guard gate, where you had the guys with blue padded leather and studded leather with silver button. And he tells you that these are the guards, or these are the military. This is the military, not the guard, not just the standard city guard. These are the actual military guys. Blue is sergeants, red is officers. So you see, for every 4 blues, there's 1 red.
And what guild do these people represent again?
It's not a guild, it's the House Amon.
Oh, that's for House Amon. Okay. And red is officer. What does the lowly person wear?
Gray.
Okay. Blue is sergeant, red is officer.
But you don't
gray
see any,
is dirtbag. That's how I'm putting it in my notes.
y'all haven't seen any grays yet. Darius tells you that the grays normally do like the cleaning of barracks, the day-to-day paperwork, they do just odds and ends stuff.
But lots of blue and red.
Right.
Okay.
Well, not as many reds. There's 1 red for every 4 blues.
Okay.
At every outpost that y'all have seen. You've counted 4 blues, 1 red, or you've counted 16 blues and 4 reds. Or 5, whatever.
Question: Are
4
there any
reds.
tieflings that are part of House Amon?
Yes.
Since most tieflings are of human descent.
Yeah, it's the guards that y'all have seen is of many different races. You've seen red vests that are halflings. You've seen them that they're gnomes. You haven't seen any that's a dwarf, but you've seen some that are from gnomes to tieflings, halflings. It's very diverse. But dwarves you have not seen a dwarf wearing any Amon attire.
Okay.
So, when you go through the security checkpoint, Darius tells you that they'll search your bag. Bags will get searched, which he would have told you back at breakfast that you could
if he would have told me that, I would have deconstructed my pistol.
And
So then, can I just say it's deconstructed?
yeah,
Okay.
so this is where your bags will get searched and everything like that. I'm gonna, because he because I'm retconning it. So let's do this. If y'all want to take stuff out of your bag, I need to use the bathroom quick. If you want to take stuff out of your bag and put it back in your hotel room, or like put it in a bag of holding and then take the bag of holding and put it in your hotel room, you can. There is security lockers and safes in the hotel rooms. Plus the hotel itself, King's Rest, is like a fortress. There was even some of House Amon soldiers there posted outside. Y'all can do that and just type that into Discord chat, and then I'll look it over to see what y'all doing.
I'm already typing it into Fantasy Grounds. Is that fine?
So, like, Lucky, your bow's in your bag of holding. You could just leave that bag of holding back at the hotel room. Or however you want to do it. Whatever you want to do. I'll be right back. Or you know what? Y'all want to take 5 right now?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'll be back in a minute.
Hey, Gavin, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, how you like being the guy that takes all the notes?
Yeah, it's interesting. And see, I'm not even a charisma-based character. I'm an intelligence-based character. But
You haven't said
Okay, I picked up the balloons, popped them all, I'm back now.
all right, sweet.
Sorry, it took me a minute because I had to go find them and then drag them to the truck and then pop them all, so. What'd I miss?
Just some history on here. Tell you what, I can just copy and paste to you all the notes I just took.
Sweet, yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, you don't need to be a charisma-based character just to know who to talk to, man. It's simple
Yeah, I
as
know.
like being intelligent is still good. Just knowing the functions of the city.
Well, that's another type of character I think would probably need to know a lot.
It's always good to have a
No.
face, man.
Those are the notes I just took right now.
Y'all going on and on about figuring how to like take this prince out and kidnap him. Like, all you gotta do is go find the right person to talk to.
Okay, yes, but you have to understand, Zorlin's the type of person that it's, you know, cut first, ask questions later.
Yeah, but Lucky's the type of person that just asks politely.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
and that
Zorlin's
questions later.
that helps.
Killed.
But Zorlin's the type of person that, you know, it's plunder, steal shit, and, you know, stab first, ask questions later, because, you know, that's what he's known his entire life. You know, it's, you capture the shit before you freaking start interrogating people. So, and to do that, you gotta kill people. But that's just his philosophy, and that's his mindset. And I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. So. Alright, so what are we doing?
We were on a 5-minute break. You came back
But
just in
yeah,
time for the
no,
break.
that's just Zolan's way of going about things is, let me go kill everything possible, and then we'll start.
Find the leader and then talk to them.
Why do you always gotta pick a fight with every character you play?
And I think Shadik is gonna be, you know, Zorlin's kind of conscience in this and being like, alright, man, well, we don't have
Our
to always
characters
do things
play
that
off each
way.
other pretty well.
Like, I'm the character that's kind of like pushing you to do shit out of the box, and you're like,
And I'm the
okay,
good
but
guy.
we need to do it in a smart way.
You're bad cop, I'm good cop.
We gotta, pretty much. It's like, okay, Yeah, if shit goes to hell, Zorlin, yeah, that's when you need to just start stabbing people. But until then... Oh, man. 27 minutes till home. And this is where I will... Come on, say I will mute myself.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Actually, scratch that. My ammo isn't in the same pouch as my ball bearings. I just have the pouch with my ammo in it. Like, I strategically place it next to the ball bearings so that when they find it, they will just assume it's more ball bearings.
Okay. So, bow, throwing knives, daggers, short swords. How many short swords do you have? How many daggers? You know what? Never mind.
I'm pretty armed to the teeth.
The dragon pendant, all my syringes, all of my powder horns.
Oh, Zorlin is the scimitar that he picked up from the castle, the very ornate, pretty-looking one. He is wearing that for a pretty ornate look.
Okay.
Because you said most of the nobles have, you know, they have swords that are meant just for really decoration, so he's using his for decoration.
Alright, so. Knowing that all your main fightable weapons and armaments. Lucky, you still got your claws, so you're still good to hack and slash people. Right.
Always deadly.
Alright, so you see Zorlin go through the checkpoint, and Anders goes through the checkpoint, and one of the guards is like, can't bring, and then Anders and Darius both look over at the guy with the red coat on, and he nods, and then they step through the checkpoint. Who's next?
I'll step through.
Alright, tell me this honestly now. Are you hiding anything?
No, my guns, everything is just in my bag.
It's in your inventory.
And I
So-
listed everything in my inventory that was either left in the room or chip up there, so.
Alright. Yeah, so you passed through pretty securely. And then Lucky, you passed through as well. They kind of give you a hard eye, and they're like, don't you let those claws come out here today.
Yeah, I've still got my hunting knife though, just same as before, but that's it.
Roll me a sleight of hand check real quick for me.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't find it. They rolled a 14 on their investigation. So, yeah, you still got your hunting knife.
Okay.
And Zorlin, you actually get stopped, and they go, excuse me, sir. There is no weapons allowed in the council meeting today. Not even that from nobles.
Really?
If you would, just leave it here with us, and we'll give you a signed sheet
I will
from
not
my
leave this.
commander.
Do you understand where this came from? Do you
right,
understand
yes,
who I am?
sir.
No. Do you understand who I am?
A nobleman.
I am Lord Zerion Nightshade of the Nightshade family. This sword was passed down to me from my father, from his father, from his father, and his. Weapon. This does not go anywhere unless it is on my hip. I am not going to leave it. I am not going to put it down nowhere. Now, and as I'm saying this, distracting them like up here towards like my face, I'm going to then slide it up under my jacket and hide it.
Okay, so do you want me to roll you a deception check or
I don't know if it would be
Sleight of
deception or
hand.
sleight of hand. Or
well,
both.
deception?
Or
So-
you could always augment it and either make it like a sleight of hand check that's based on his charisma, or a deception check that's based on his deck.
Whatever one's better.
I'm gonna say deception. I'm gonna say deception to see if you can get advantage or disadvantage on their
Okay.
On the
For me.
sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand check.
yeah. Alright, so once you say all that, they kind of look at you and they're like, well, we apologize, Lord Nightshade. We did not know. It's all a mistake. But you don't, man. It kind of gets hooked on your belt a little bit while you're trying to hide it and move it away. They're like, sir, if you wouldn't mind just leaving it here with us, we promise. My lieutenant would be more than happy to hold it for you until you come back.
How about this? You send one of your guardsmen with me, and I want to see it at all times.
Or
All times.
might I make a query? Are you to suggest that this noble person from House Nightshade would have the gall to cause any sort of disruption with such a weapon? House Nightshade carries themselves very well. They have a very reputable name. Is that name not enough to instill you with some degree of faith that you will not regret the decision to allow him to keep it?
Are you trying to say that we're trying to drag the name of Nightshade through the mud? I assure you, sir, that is not the case.
I'm not saying that's what you're
It's-
trying to do, but I'm continuing to lose ever by the second faith that might not be the case. I mean, can you honestly tell me that you would suggest that somebody from the House Nightshade would use any weapon in a malicious manner? I don't see it possible.
I want you to make a persuasion check with advantage.
Alright. Damn it.
No, we understand, but it's the council's rules. And even House Amon has their own rules.
Then you send a guard with me, and have him with me, and I want my weapon on him, and I want to be able to see him at all times, with my weapon.
I'm sorry, sir, but not even House Amon guards are allowed within the chambers.
See,
So-
if I might, it is very traumatic, and if I could speak for my friend here, he, long ago, this weapon of his was stolen
Look,
with similar.
we do not want to hear your soppy stories. We have a job to do. There's a line waiting behind you. You either forfeit the weapon or you do not enter, sir.
Fine. He pulls it out and stabs it into this. Is the table like wooden or anything like that?
It's marble.
Oh, okay, never mind. He just unhooks it from his belt
He
and
throws
sets
it
it
to
down.
the ground.
So much for ceremonial family heirloom.
Never mind. He just unhooks it from his belt and kind of pulls out a piece of fabric out of his backpack and wraps it in it and hands it to him.
She hands me the phone and says it's my dad. I look at her and say, "This isn't my dad. This is a cell phone."
So there is another guard that comes over, and he's wearing the red vest, and he writes on a piece of paper. He gets your name, and then he said, "Sir, is there a number like a security number that you would like to tell me? It's like a passcode, so only you can retrieve this weapon."
753.
75. Got it. and then he writes it down, and then he hands you a slip of paper with his signature on it, his like badge number and stuff. He's like, yes, come see me back here at the front desk whenever you are ready. There's a small door off to the side that he goes through that he disappears into with your sword.
My word, I've never been treated so poorly as he just walks through.
And I say loud enough for them to hear as we're passing by, don't worry, Lord Nightshade. I will do my very best afterwards to write a strongly worded letter about these gods who would have the audacity to suggest that you would perform any acts of evil.
I know. Oh, it is unmistakably for.
It's
Ugh,
unspeakable.
I just can't. It is not okay. I am not happy with this.
I make
will
a
not be
fist in the
treated this
air
way.
as we're passing by, and I shout backwards at the guards, we will have your jobs after this.
Darius kind of turns around and he just goes, shh, Karens, please, quiet.
Did you say Karens?
I'm sorry. That was beautiful.
Now, if y'all are done making a scene, let us be on our way. The council meeting will be starting soon. And
I
Darius
chuckle
leads
and I
you.
look over at Zorlin and I say, the noble life suits you.
Thank you.
Darius leads y'all upstairs, and y'all go up a couple flights of stairs, and he leads you to a room down at the end of the corridor that leads to a balcony that opens up into a balcony. And this balcony sits it's like a giant auditorium. Like if you can think of a courtroom, it's massive, and it has 4 stories with balconies up the sides. This one's only on the 3rd floor in the very center, where you can perfectly see both the council to the right, and there is a large table in the middle, and then behind the table is outstretched into different rows of pews. The side that is closest to y'all has about 10 Knights of Mina sitting in the chairs. The table is empty and it has 3 seats, and one seat in the middle is very regal and excuse me, it's larger than the other 2. There is 5 seats. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 seats off to the right where the council will sit, and it's pretty packed in this place. It's pretty full. But the first 2 rows behind on closest to y'all is full of knights. No one else is sitting in these 2 rows. So you all have your seats. There's about 10 seats on this balcony. Is there anything y'all would like to discuss with each other before the ceremony starts?
I just want to see, since we're standing next to all knights, do they all have a little emblem thing that lets them carry weapons?
The Knights of Mina? You're not standing next to them. You're on a balcony. You're on the 3rd balcony up from, 2nd balcony up. Because there's also like bleachers off to the sides that are full of people as well.
Gotcha, so there's none of them around us?
No, y'all are on y'all's own secluded balcony with 10 seats.
Ah,
Not
misunderstood. Okay, I'm good.
Think of like an opera house, but in the very center of the opera house, that's where the court is. Where the stage in the center. Think of like a courtroom and an opera house mixed together.
So it's kind of like this, like one of the state freaking legislative or whatever fucking buildings it is, like a big round room with this fucking center people of judges sit.
More or less, instead of round, it's a rectangle. It goes further back than it does around.
Gotcha. But in similar states, it's like the freaking superior fucking federal courtroom, but it's rectangle. Gotcha.
So there's 2 rows of 5 seats. Darius sits at the second seat from the front. Andrew sits opposite of him in the back. And they sit down, they're like, please sit. But as long as we are here, do remain quiet. I do not wish to miss any exciting words spoken.
Are the chairs like bolted into the floor?
Yeah, they're pretty much locked in.
Okay. Zolan's gonna sit in the very far corner of the front.
Okay. Opposite of Darius?
Opposite of Darius.
Okay.
And then he's gonna motion for Ulrich to sit next to him.
Okay. Yeah, so I do it. I sit next to him.
Okay, I have a question. As a pirate, even though it's not on my inventory, as a pirate, would I have like a collapsible telescope?
You would on your ship, not with you.
I have a spyglass with me right now.
Ulrich, I have a question.
Yes.
I left my telescope on the ship. Do you have another one on you?
I do. Be very careful with this
borrow
one.
it?
It was a gift from my father, and
Of course.
promise me that you will not make any jokes about its appearance.
No, of course. I've seen regal ones, I've seen crappy ones. It doesn't matter as long as it works.
It's not a matter of whether how regal or crappy it is. More childish than anything. And I pull out a spyglass that has like a star, like galaxy motif to it, and like the stars look like very animated and childish, almost like they came from like a children's book.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like the one I had when I was a kid on a ship. It's amazing. Thank you. I'll give it back. I promise.
I have plans for this in the future. Gonna be on a bad news.
So he's gonna look through it and look around the room and kind of get a closer view of all the people, and he's just gonna kind of be perceptive as possible
Hold on
through
one
this
second.
spyglass.
You're like turned down really low.
Is this better?
Alright, so say that again?
Second.
I'm going to use the spyglass and I'm going to look around the entire room without getting up out of my chair, but like look around the room and look for, anything that catches my eye, anything that seems either out of the ordinary or catches my eye or something that would intrigue me or anything that would just pop.
So this is what you rolled. Well,
I don't know.
why
I
it's
can't
showing
say
it.
what I roll.
Well, you rolled a 3 plus 4 for a 7.
Does he have advantage on it because he's using a spyglass?
No. I'll give him
Aw.
plus 2, which will make it 9.
Okay.
But what were you looking for?
Just anything that would catch my eye or look either oddly suspicious or out of the ordinary. Maybe even anything with that may have people of my special order, my guild there, or anything that looks to be kind of or settling or something like that. Anything that seems to be.
So, what is kind of odd is there is several other balconies that all have the same kind of setup, and they are also using spyglasses to view down.
Gotcha.
But not just spyglasses that you hold, like telescopes like that, but they have like spyglasses on sticks that they're holding, and like, it looks like they do this quite often, but it's overall kind of bizarre. But you don't notice anybody unsavory.
Glasses.
Huh? Yeah, opera glass.
By the way, I linked the spyglass you're using in there.
Do I notice anybody Do I notice
No, you don't.
anybody from my guild?
No, you don't.
I would like to look around and see
Yeah,
who
make
has
a
the.
perception
Do
check.
I notice anybody from my guild?
No, you do not. If y'all want to
Okay.
look around, make a perception check.
Well, I'm not
Just-
looking for the same thing
We
they're
need to
looking
make sure
for.
there's not a fucking
Okay.
assassin coming to kill
I'm
somebody.
gonna be looking at a separate time as Zorlin. Just whenever Zorlin's done looking, I'm gonna ask for the spyglass back, and I'm gonna look around with it.
All right, Lucky, what are you looking?
Who has the fanciest hat?
You found it.
It's like a giant hat with like 80 feathers on it, right?
Yep. There is a lady literally wearing a stuffed peacock on her head right below you. You found it.
How below me is below me?
About 25 feet straight down.
I have some wire, and maybe we could fashion a hook if you want to try to take the hat.
I will
Ev-
motion to
Literally,
Shadik.
everybody here will see that.
I will
Just
motion to
peek.
Ulrich that I want that hat.
Against my better judgment, I hand him about a 25-foot piece of wire.
I put my hand on top of his hand. Not now.
I didn't say not now. I just said I would like that hat.
Okay,
Please,
Lucky,
God.
not
Let's
now.
Not die.
So what are you handing me?
A piece of wire.
Alright. I now have wire. Okie doke.
So y'all simultaneously hear a trumpet blow, and the moment the trumpet blows, everyone in this room stands. Even Darius and Andrew stand as they announce, "The King of Mina United, approaches the stand to speak with the council." And you see the back doors open, and 3 figures walk through, the same 3 figures y'all saw in the procession the day before. The King of Mina in the front with his 2 associates by his sides. As they approach and they come and they sit down at the table to the front. And then after him, they announce the council members one by one, starting with the chick of the Merchant Guild. They start with her. And Darius says, "This is a political move. They start with the leader of the Merchants Guild to show that their dominance over her. Normally, the last is the most notable and respected of the members of the council. So they start with her to show that she's beneath at all times. They say, Lady Lauren Amaranthine of the Merchants Guild, first of the council, or 5th of the council seat."
How nicely is she
And-
dressed?
So, looks like to be a half-elfin lady, of half-elfin descent, and she comes out wearing this emerald green dress. It looks very long and furrowed at the bottom. She's got long blonde hair that stretches down, and she sits on the far end of y'all at one of the far seats. She sits down.
Alright, I don't quite understand the dynamic, but I understand enough. Let me phrase this question here. Is she dressed appropriately for this thing, or is she dressed defiantly for it? Like, is if she dressed like she's not taking this thing seriously, or is she dressed like somebody befitting of what it is that she's supposed to be doing?
She is dressed very nice. Yes, she is. There isn't really a dress code to these things.
Right. I'm
But
just saying,
she
like,
is
if somebody
dressed-
was just like, I'm not taking this seriously, and walked in with sneakers and a t-shirt, you could tell they're not taking it seriously. But she's
Right.
dressed
No,
nicely.
this is. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that is not the case.
Gotcha. That's my question. Thank you.
So. I apologize, my dudes. All right, so next is Lilith Lundar of the House Lundars of House Lundar, and you see another female come out. This female is human, and she comes stepping at. Wait, no, this female is Tiefling.
Oh, okay.
I apologize. It's not Lilith. This is Allison Dormoon, speaker for House Lundar, and it is a purple tiefling, and she's wearing it's like a dark red dress that she's wearing, kind of really accents her skin. And she goes and she sits down. She's got dark velvet hair. She sits down right beside Lauren. And then next they say, let's see, Lumbar. Next they call Al-Dubar Aman of House Aman. And then you see a very dark-skinned human figure walk out in heavy plate armor, a lot of gold accents, very regal. You see him, he has ropes around his left shoulder to signify different, that he's a commander, and he has a lot of awards and things. And he sits at the seat closest to y'all. And then next they say, Uthar Forgeheart, second chair of council, Toss. And you see this stump dwarf come out with, he doesn't have long hair. It looks like he has a very high receding forehead, but his hair is almost as bright red and burning auburn as Anders, and he's got this thick, gnarled and twisted beard, very tight braids stretching from his chin all the way down below his belt. And he's not. He doesn't look.
Gonna look over.
Compared to the other three, he doesn't look regal. He just looks like somebody who has a little bit nicer clothes on than the other three. The other three look very regal, like there's a lot of money in their clothing. This guy doesn't. Y'all feel as though y'all paid more for your clothes than he has.
I'm gonna look over at Shadek and go, when this is all said and done, and I whisper to him, I need to speak with that man.
Understood.
It's very,
Yes,
very important.
Finally, of the Council of Tarsus, Farlan Ulavan, first chair of Tarsus Council. And you see a high elf figure standing tall. Through your spyglass, Ursan, you see he does have crow's feet, a lot of wrinkles where his bleached blonde hair is started. He has a couple streaks of gray coming through. You could tell this is an elderly elf. He's high up in his years. He comes and he sits down in the very center chair. And when he comes out, there are many people in the audience that stand up as he comes and give light claps. Not like heavy clapping, but there's a light, small clap that's reverberating within the chamber. And he sits down and he raises a hand and everybody falls silent. And then he goes,
I look over at Lucky. What's Lucky doing?
"What's Lucky doing?"
I'm fashioning the wire, figuring out the best ways of trying to be able to manipulate that.
I'm keeping my eye on Lucky.
So after Farlan raises his hand, he says, "Let us begin with the first hearing of King Arthas of Mina United. If you would not mind, King Arthas of Mina United, please speak. You have gathered this council for us. If you would not mind, allow us to grant you this audience." And at these words, the King Arthas stands. He gives a slight bow. "Thank you, Lord Farlan Ulavan. As you all know, I have conquered the lands of North Mina." Conquered, bad word, but yeah, I'll keep it. He says, "I have conquered the lands of North Mina, and thus doing so, my cousin, / nephew has run to your city for safe harbor. I am here to ensure that this is not needed. As some of you might think of me a tyrant, I am here to clear some of these facts. And I wish not I, but we of Tarsus wish to have our prince back. He belongs in Tarsus with his people. Thus disallowing us to have our prince would be of grave peril to the city of Tarsus. Something I would like to prevent. And then the king sits back down. And so this goes on back and forth where different members of the council ask the king different questions, but they all are like the same question.
Okay, I just
Like-
got this to work. For some reason my mic wasn't working. What I was saying is, when he shows up, I'm not doing anything, but I have my bag sitting next to me. Obviously, I couldn't sit down with it on my back. I'm just trying to, without drawing attention to myself, and without making like the smallest amount of rustling noise possible, I'm reassembling my gun just in case. All I have to do is snap the 3 pieces together, and it's good.
And Zorlin's keeping his eye on the freaking dwarf.
All right. So back and forth, the council members ask the king. Lauren asks the first question. She says, "Is it for political gain that you wish you have your nephew back, or is it for a more diabolical meaning?" And the king replies, "Political gain. Lady, I am the king of Mina. I need no political game or any game that y'all play here within the walls of Tarsus. This is for the people of Tarsus. They wish to have their prince." And then next, the Forge Heart speaks. Uthar, Forge Heart. He goes, "Bah! You all do not understand the value of family. I say we give the prince back, whether he wants to go or not. Mina needs their prince, and the family needs to be reunited. This is a troubling time for them indeed, and I wish not to seek counsel from any of you on these matters, and I do not wish to seek war with Mina." And then it goes down to, then Amon speaks up in reprimands of Forge Heart's harsh tone. And he says, "Lord Forgeheart, if I may, I do not think that Mina itself would be so eager to wage war against us." And then he immediately gets cut off by King Arthas, and he says, "Eager? I promise you, Council of Mina, or Council of Tarsus, I have 10,000 troops on your border as we speak. If I do not return home with the prince, this is not a war. This is a people seeking retribution for their prince, for as far as they know, you have stolen him at a time of grievous need for him." And then that's when Farland raises his hand again. He says, "Silence, please."
At
And-
this point, has anybody that's not on the council spoken up and said a word?
No.
Would I gather it would be frowned upon if I did?
Darius told y'all to be quiet, but I mean, if you want to shout out. Make sure you hashtag that shit.
Yeah, make that shit known, boy.
Do I gather that I would likely be kicked out of this meeting if I said something?
Maybe.
I got you covered.
And I didn't say I was gonna shape change going in. Okay.
So-
well,
So while they're
got
bickering
you
and
covered.
arguing back and forth, Darius stands up and says, "Please forgive me, my friends. I must go use the bathroom. I did not use the bathroom before we left the hotel. I'm pretty sure nothing will happen while I'm away." Oh, at least the war will not break out here first. And he steps away.
Zorlin kind of elbows Shadek.
So my hair is tied back, and I'm gonna use a slightly different voice. So mainly, I don't want to be recognized. I'm just gonna say, excuse me, Ulrich from House Jasan. Would it not be, perhaps be best to simply ask the prince where he would prefer to be? Forgive me if I'm overstepping. I'm not very familiar with meetings in this town, as our business is usually elsewhere.
So, when you speak up, everyone is looking at you. I take it you're standing?
No, not standing.
So you're gonna, okay. So, you've been to the Phillips Arena, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that you're trying to talk to somebody and you're up in the stand.
You would have to stand up.
You're gonna have to
See,
stand
I
up
don't
and
really
shout
care whether
loud.
they see my face.
You would still have to stand up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go over to the ledge of the balcony and shout this down.
I'm going to kind of sit up just enough in my seat to where my head clears the balcony, shout that, and sit back down.
This is kind of all or nothing here, bud. Like, you either got to make yourself
Yeah.
known or not. There's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah, because you're about 200 feet away from the council.
So if I shouted that sitting down, nobody would hear me.
Probably not.
Alright, fine, I do that, and without delay, immediately turn back around and go sit down.
And so upon you saying that, Allison Dormund, she speaks up and she says, "Aye, the random mother tiefling is right. Why not let the prince decide?" And King responds, "The prince make decisions for himself. He is a child. He is not but 10 years. 10 seasons. He has no decisions. He's
I didn't know the
been
prince was that
trained."
young.
Yeah,
I thought
pretty
the
young.
prince was like a teenager.
No, he's young.
Okay.
The boy can barely even cut his own steak. Make his own decisions on where he shall go. He has a responsibility to his people.
But being of such noble background, are you to suggest that he would not possess the intellect required to make such a decision?
Zorlin's gonna stand up and go and walk out to the back and goes, "Yes, I agree with him. Yes, I have known him for some time. But where I come from, even a boy of 10 has intellect to stay with one party or another, whether it's this or that. They still have the intellect and the intelligence to make decisions of their own. They know right and wrong.
So
At least
in
that's
the middle,
how I was
in the
taught.
middle of you speaking, and the talk of war, and everything else going on, now everybody else has started speaking their mind. And so half of your words are lost to the echo of everyone else trying to speak their mind all at the same time now.
I would like to
And-
take that moment to
Yeah.
attach my wire to some hempen rope to make like a hook on the end of the rope.
Yeah. All right, so you do it.
All right.
So simultaneously, both Farlin stands up and Uthar slams his foot on the council, making a very loud, reverberating boom as the council's flooring is marble and it booms throughout the chamber. And Farlin Ulavon, this boom carries his voice with it as it journeys throughout this chamber, and everybody just hears echoing in their brain or in their ears, just silence, and everybody shuts up and sits down upon hearing this.
during the commotion, I want to know if there's anybody looking directly at me. So just I want to try to hide. If not, if there's nobody looking directly at me, I want to kind of just look into my bag, like get my head like real close to my bag, like I'm looking through it, and take that opportunity to use disguise self to make myself look like just the most generic human motherfucker out there.
All right, yeah, you do it. So then it continues. Farland sits now standing with Uthor, and he turns down to the dwarf. Farland says, Uthor, you would say to just hand over the child back to the people of Mina, whether he wants to or not? And Uthor gives a nod. And then Uthor and Farland both sit back down. And he says, King of Mina, King Arthas, please, let us not speak on war of this matter any longer. For these political meetings are very taunt and daunting. War seems to upset the people. So, let us be more cordial. It seems that these negotiations cannot be made within the public eye of the public. We will adjourn this meeting, and we will have it in more private affairs. All council members who agree with this say aye. And then everyone but Forge and once Forge, so it's kind of humorous as you see Lauren Anaranthian. She kind of gives a side eye over to the Forge heart, and she is halfway through raising her hand when she notices he doesn't raise his hand, so she gently lowers her hand back down. And then Farland speaks back. That is 3 of 2. Council has spoken. We will disperse this meeting as thus. We will reconvene tomorrow morn, first dawn. King Arthas, we hope you enjoy your stay within our city.
Tony, question.
Yes.
Would I have any way of signaling Legion if perhaps I wanted to talk to them? Any way that I could flash a sign? Because I'm sure they're watching me at every moment.
So, Gavin, let me put this into perspective. Before you ever met Legion, Legion was a myth, a ghost story that you tell kids. It doesn't exist until you just discovered it.
I know.
So you have no insight on any of their dealings or any, because this isn't the first time you've asked about Legion. So I'm just gonna tell you no, but I want you to understand that they just don't exist. If you were to just walk up to some random stranger and was like, yeah, so I was hanging out with these Legion guys, a part of Legion the other day, they would just be like, bugger off, drunk. And they would just completely ignore you. Because it's like a ghost story. Like, yeah, I was hanging out with Michael Myers the other day.
But because I'm sure Legion's watching me, would I have any way, if they were watching me, that I could flash any signal or leave something or anything that would say I needed to speak with them?
I mean, you could do what you want and interpret it as you will, but you wouldn't necessarily know.
Okay.
But at this time, whenever Lord Farland makes this proclaim that the council has spoken, that all 5 members stand, and they adjourningly walk out of the 2 side rooms behind the council chairs, and the king stands, and him and his 2 groups start to leave, and the 2 rows of knights stand, and they follow behind, making a close quarters with the king as they march out. And then after the council has left and the king has left, everyone else stand, and they start to leave as well.
Okay.
And what would y'all like to do?
As soon as we get out, I'm gonna pull out a piece of parchment. That's just gonna say, it's just gonna say L. There's a matter that could be of great benefit to your organization, and I would be willing to give you this in exchange for one favor. What I offer is greater than money. And I'm going to take that and stick a corner of it underneath like some kind of box or just a rock or stone or something. I assume they're watching me. I assume they will see that I left a paper. So after I put it down, I'm just going to turn off in a random direction and wave and walk off.
What door did the freaking did the floor chart go through?
One of the back doors behind their
Which door?
seats.
Not one
He
of
went
which
through
door?
the one closest to y'all.
Cool. I'm gonna go downstairs and go through the door.
So as you leave, it's packed full of people. You can manage to make your way back down into the chamber, but when you approach those doors, they're locked.
I would like to say before we leave, I'm keeping an eye on the chick with the fancy hat.
Lucky, make a sleight of hand check because you find her with a 24. Still, you find her. You know always where she is. You've been following. When she stood up and walked away, you walked away.
Luck point.
Yeah.
Even better.
But yeah.
I would
Lady
like
with
to
a
try-
fancy hat or Lucky with a fancy hat now?
I will put that in my bag of holding.
To pick the lock.
So you pick the lock. Are you gonna open the door? You hear the tumblers all roll and crash like a normal, and you assume the door's unlocked now.
Yeah, I'm going to stealth and as stealthily as I possibly can go in there
All right.
with a 24.
So stealthily, as you crack open the door and look inside, there's probably about a dozen guards standing right on the other side of this door. Both red, blue, and gray shirts. You even see one yellow shirt that you know that's a captain of the guard. And they're all being spoken to by Amon himself.
All right, so I'm just
And
gonna
it's
kind of.
one large room.
All right, I'm just gonna kind of like hide on the back wall and wait for the one guard in the yellow shirt.
So it's
one
one large open room, and so you would know if you were to open this door all the way, you would be just staring at like right in front of them.
So there's no way I could like prop it open just for me to sneak in and close it back.
Yeah, unless you can meld with stone. No, it's a large open room.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna get as much detail of that guard
Well-
as I possibly can.
So all right, so you do that, and as you have this door kind of cracked open, you hear Amon speaks. He says, "Men, stay on high alert. I do not trust those that are within our city walls now, more than ever. And we had word come down about the Thieves Guild down in the lower district. We heard that there was a raid the other night, and an entire warehouse full of people murdered. A house.
Okay, say that again. You broke up about the Thieves Guild.
So about the Thieves Guild, Amon heard that there was a warehouse full of people that was murdered, and he wants a full investigation to go down on this warehouse about the Thieves Guild. He believes that they're up to it,
Gotcha.
and he also does not trust the people within the city.
All right, I'm gonna slowly, tilt the handle, close it, slowly release, and kind of merge myself into the crowd. And as I merge myself into the crowd, I'm gonna change to a different look. And then when I get out into the open area, I'm gonna kind of like go off into a corner and change back into my form again and go get the sword. Tony?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. That's it. That's me.
Okay.
I'm gonna find an alleyway and just go somewhere out of sight and
So
wait.
you're leaving the building?
I thought we already had.
No, Anders still with you all as well.
I'm just gonna look over at Zorlin and Lucky and just say, I will be right outside.
Oh, Zorlin's already gone and done his
Yeah.
thing and
Okay,
with the crowd.
I'm
He's
gonna
already
tell
outside.
Lucky that. Just tell Lucky I will be right outside.
Lucky's
So
out
he
chasing the leader with the fancy hat and got it.
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
you and Anders there, Shadek.
Okay, then I look over at Anders and say, look, I will be right outside. I will find the closest alleyway on the left-hand side of the street. After leaving here, if anybody needs to find me, that is where I will be. Do not ask why. But if you could if you let my companions know, that's where I will be, that would be greatly appreciated.
Huh. Well, if I may ask, why are you going to be in an alleyway?
I wish to speak to someone who I believe knows that is where I will likely be.
Is this a dangerous person?
Not to me.
But dangerous nonetheless. I shall accompany you, Shadek.
You shall not, for they will likely not meet with me if you are there.
Well, your friends left. I rather liked the cat. My friends left.
Tell you what,
So it's
here's
just
what
you
can
and I.
do. You
Don't
can-
worry, we will be companions together in this escapade. Let us go henceforth. We shall meet them with swift vengeance if they decide to pull their weapons upon us. Do not fear, Shadek, for I still have my weapons. I might even loan you my dagger.
Fine. So I'm going to change what I'm writing on this letter and say what I have to offer could make you the most supreme power in all of the kingdoms. This is what I'm saying on the letter. To make it
All right.
really enticing.
And you're gonna go throw it under a rock outside.
I'm gonna pin it under a rock outside and wait in an alleyway. Because I assume they're watching me. I'm gonna turn around, give a little wave off in just some random direction, and walk into the alleyway.
So when you wave, Anders kind of looks in the direction that you're waving and goes, huh, you must have seen Svedka around here. Sometimes I don't even know where he is myself. And I have a very keen eye. Like that's a griffin. You know what I'm saying there, Shiddick? You ever fought a griffin, man?
I don't know, Tony. Have I ever fought a griffin?
No.
Have I ever seen a griffin?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't fought a griffin myself, but they are quite wondrous creatures.
Wondrous and deadly.
The one that I met was rather friendly.
Well, the one that I met was not. While he's
telling his story, I'm pulling a piece of parchment out of my. While he's telling his story, I'm pulling a piece of parchment out of my bag, and I'm drawing what looks to be a very convincing set of blueprints for my gun. And if put together and if constructed, would actually work, but would have a very high misfire rate and be very imperfect. But I'm gonna go ahead and just draw these schematics out on a piece of parchment. But I'm intentionally including some flaws in the schematics.
So a couple moments go by, nothing happened. And Anders looks over at you, Shiddick, and he goes, I do not see our friends. I assume that they would be meeting us out here. I shall go henceforth and find them. Do not worry, Shiddick. I will return your friends to you. Onward,
I'm sure
I
you
lead.
will, Anders. I
And
shall
he
be waiting here
he's-
anxiously for you.
he struts off to go find Lucky and Zorlin. Finds Lucky fairly quickly.
Oh yeah, I'm not hiding. I'm pretty gleeful. I'm like kind of skip walking because I'm pretty happy with my turnout for the day.
So Zorlin, what are you doing?
I'm kind of just moseying my way to the front to go pick my sword back up.
Okay, yeah, you get your sword. And Anders and Lucky are both at the front. They find you and they talk to you for a second. And Anders tells you that a couple streets down is Shadek waiting in an alleyway like a creeper.
All right, I'm gonna go down to the alleyway.
All right. So Shadek, about the same time that Anders walks away, you hear a voice behind you. Doing.
What do they say?
What are you doing?
May I ask? I don't turn around. I just say, may I ask who is currently in my company?
I don't trust you.
Are you part of the organization who you know I am here to speak with?
And whom would that be?
I say in kind of a whispered voice, Legion.
So at the mention of this name, you feel a swift kick in the back of one of your knees. You fall to your knees on the ground. Yeah,
Okay.
and you just hit your knees.
I have something that could be of great value to you. I only ask for one thing in return. By the way, this piece of parchment is in my bag.
Okay. What is it you
I-
ask for?
There is a prince here currently in the city. This was my backup plan. But Mina United is here. King Arethus is here to abduct this prince and take him back to the land. I ask for a similar favor of which I have already asked from you before. And I have something that is more valuable to you in exchange than all of the gold that exists in this kingdom. If you would grant this favor.
I will consider it.
I will not tell you where, but I have access to a piece of parchment with the blueprints of how to properly build a firearm. A weapon more mighty than any that has ever been devised. The destructive force of a ballista that could be carried in a single hand.
Make a persuasion check.
Alright. Damn it! Damn it! Can I have advantage on it?
So, tell me, do you seek to betray your friends in this conquest of yours?
I do not seek to betray them. I ask that you collect this prince. Bring him to me, somewhere that we will discuss if you agree to this, so I can assure him of his safety, and that I am a friend, and that you will take him, so he will not be seen until it is safe for him to show his face again. If you do so, I will give you access to a potentially unlimited amount of weaponry, of a force that is more destructive than anything you can possibly imagine. If you do this one simple task for me.
So, about the time you finish this sentence, you see all three of Zorlin, Lucky, and Anders come around the corner. Now, Zorlin, Lucky, and Anders, what y'all see is you see Shadek on his knees, and then leaning up against the wall behind him is Svidka. And
I clearly shout out to them and I just say, do not worry here. I know what I am doing.
And Anders walks up. He goes, "Ah, Svidka, there you are. I was wondering where you ran off to." And Svidka just replies, "I was looking for a spy. I think I found one. Seems to be doing dealings with Legion. Talks about some kind of formidable weapon that destroys worlds, or some nonsense." And Anders kind of glares down at you.
Someone's gonna run into the alleyway, pulling his sword and putting up against the dude behind Sadic's and put the sword up to his neck.
By the way, I still look like a generic human at this point.
So,
All right, so you're gonna
what are we doing?
hold on, Zorlin. You're gonna pull out your sword.
I'm
And
gonna
run at this dude?
No, I'm gonna run into the alleyway and then pull my sword and put it up to his neck.
All right, I want you to roll for initiative. Oh, no.
Oh shit!
How do you delete all initiative? All right, menu,
Damn it.
initiative.
Good roll, man.
Yeah.
I can delete Surge. Delete Lauren.
I guess I'll roll initiative because I'm part of this.
So I do just want to say to him that it's schematics for a device that wouldn't have worked. Nah, actually, scratch that. I'm not saying that. I'll see how this plays out.
Oh, I didn't mean that.
Give me 5 more seconds to run upstairs and grab a drink real quick.
Anders got a
Okay.
23 on his initiative.
Okay, well, I can hear you, but just give me a second.
So yeah, guys, I'm kind of feeling like I fucked up a little bit.
So, where are you and where are you there, Lucky?
I'd be standing next to Anders. So wherever he's at, since I was coming up with him.
Are you gonna fight?
I'm involved in the turn. I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna
Yeah,
fight.
I'm not attacking anybody, but I'm gonna use most of my turns to talk.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
By the way,
Okay.
Zorlin, you haven't given yourself your temporary hit points.
Well, you know what? It's because I haven't had Discord up that freaking long, or Fantasy up that long.
Okay, we'll give yourself the 8 temporary hit points.
Okay.
So, Zorlin, as you whip out your sword, start to charge through, you see Sviska whip out a little hand crossbow. He's gonna shoot it at you.
Oh, Sviska's going first?
Awesome.
Well, no, Anders is going first, but he's skipping his turn.
Okay. Should I get... Well, no. I don't think this warrants battle music.
Yay! And this is a big ass alley.
Yeah, I just typed in alley and this is what popped up. Alright, so since you haven't taken your turn yet, he gets advantage on the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is he a rogue? Oh, well, yeah, of course he's a... I was thinking Anders. But yeah, of course Sviska's a rogue.
Yep. So that's a natural 20.
Oh my fucking god.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna do there's that. And here's this. So that is 25 points of damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck your Constitution saving throw.
So
Is that
Dang.
that 25 points of damage like past his temporary HP, or would that actually be, or would he actually have 17 wounds right now because of the 8 temporary HP?
oh yeah, you're absolutely right. He would have 7 wounds right now. All right. Yeah. So now it is. Hold on. Lucky's turn.
Do I know that
Oh,
Shadek
wait.
is Shadek, or
Hold on. That is an extra.
I'm still wearing the
6,
same
7.
clothes.
That's 24 points of damage actually, because it's. Wait, no. Hold on.
I'm partially absorbed for freaking shit like that. Obviously.
Hold on. No, because all roll damage was double. So that's 17. And then plus an extra 13. So that's 30 points of damage. With an extra 13. So you have 1 hit point left.
Even with the 8
after the
temporary?
8?
Yeah, even after the 8.
So he did 38 points of damage?
Well, because that's 26 plus 12. Yeah, that's 26 plus 12.
Holy shit. Okay. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, so that's 30. That's 38 points of damage. Yeah, because his sneak attack would have been doubled because of the critical hit too, and his sneak attack did 13 damage.
I got 1 hit point left, damn it. I'm not down yet. I'm not
Yeah.
down yet.
Lucky, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna turn over to Anders hold on. That extra music is a lot louder than the previous music. I can turn that down. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn over to Anders and just say what.
Gavin, can you change that, please?
Yeah.
All right. So what's up, Sean? What were you saying?
I'm just gonna turn to Anders and just say what is going on here. I have no idea what's even happening. Do I realize that Shadek is Shadek if he's wearing the same clothes? Since he looks like a human.
You know that he changed to a human when he was in the
I
other
was sitting
room.
right next to him.
Yeah. So you know that that's Shadek, or it looks like the guy that Shadek turned into.
Okay. Then I will also say to Anders, like, can you tell your friend to stand down and I'll tell mine? Because this is not good. And I will take out... where is it? My rope of advanced trapping.
All right.
And I will cast Entangle. I don't know who I should cast it on. Do I need to... I don't know. Should I cast it on Zorlin to get him to calm down, or should I cast it on Zviska?
Visca was the one that
you
attacked
cast
me.
it on Zorlin, he's gonna fucking die.
Well, it's entangle.
Yeah.
It just restrains him.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't.
hurt him.
I know, but I'm pretty sure they would have advantage on their attacks against.
Well, if we stop the fight, though, is what I'm trying to say,
That's
though.
a big gamble.
Yeah, well, he's
That
gonna
is
die
correct.
if we have this fight anyway, because he's got 1 hit point.
Not necessarily, but okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast it on Zviska.
Visca.
Yeah.
All right.
Say 20-foot radius. So let me get that.
Well, it's a 10-foot radius.
Oh, I thought it was 20. My bad. So we'll go right there. And it's a 90-foot range. And I need him. Where is the thing? It's a 20-foot square, starting from a point within range.
Oh, it's a square, 20-foot square.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah. So that is a lot bigger, but there you go.
So there. And he has to make a strength saving throw.
All right. He does 16.
I think that saves.
Yeah, can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he saves.
Okay.
So it does nothing.
All right.
And I
Is that
will step right here to kind of body block Zorlin.
All right. Zorlin, you're up.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see. All right, where is old boy? Okay. All right. Hold on, I gotta see what I'm gonna do. Because I didn't think this alleyway was this huge. Unless I don't have to go by square distance points. Tony.
Yeah.
Is this alleyway this big? So like I actually have to go. I can only go 30. So I wouldn't be able to get to there. I wouldn't be able to get to here.
To him? Yeah, let's just say that you get there. Let's just
Cool.
move everybody closer.
All right. Breath weapon.
All right.
I guess I can't talk and ask him not to.
Yeah, you can.
Zorlin, no! As I see him doing that, it's like, this does not need to come to bloodshed. Please. You can always hold your action.
That's true. Yeah, all right. He's gonna sit there and hold his action, and he's gonna use breath weapon if anything goes towards Shadik. Anything
right.
wrong? Anything that he sees as towards an attack towards Shadik, he's gonna just blow up.
All right.
So,
So, if any attack goes towards Shadik, then he's gonna shoot the thing.
yep. It doesn't matter if it comes from one end or the other. He's attacking with his breath weapon if any kind of attack goes towards Shadik.
Okay.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right.
All right, Shadik, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna look over at Zviska and say, please, this is meaningless. I do not wish to draw arms against you, for I can tell you are both good men. It is not news to you that I wish to rescue the prince. And I pull out the piece of parchment and says, does this even look like anything to you? Does this even look like something that could be a deadly weapon? I was simply meaning to barter to assure the prince's freedom. And I am not a man of violence, and I am not a man who I can hurt, who would willingly hurt someone who I can tell clearly possesses good character. Now please, hear me out. And I get on my knees and I bow before him, and I say, for is not events that could shape the well-being of our entire kingdom worth at least a conversation. For what I am doing here is no secret to any of you. For if you were with Darius, then you know that my goals are amiable. I simply wish to assure the prince's safety, and I promise you the course of action that I came in here to pursue is to that means. In fact, by the gods, Anders, I even allowed you to accompany here. I took no issue with you following me. If I was trying to hide anything from you, would I have been okay with you accompanying me to
Alright.
this location?
Your 6 seconds is up. Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
The disadvantage?
You're in combat with him.
I haven't attacked him, though.
Yep.
Nope. But our group has.
Nobody's attacked him yet.
No one's attacked either one of them. He attacked me.
Well.
12.
All right, so the reason why I gave you disadvantage is because you still look like someone completely different when the last time Sviska saw you. So
He was right there next to me whenever I changed my form.
no, he was
And
not.
oh,
He
well, I'm
left-
using
he
the
left
same
the group.
voice.
So, all right, so that ends your turn. Anders, Lucky, you see Anders. He's sitting there. He starts to kind of hop between his left and his right foot and pulls up his fist like the old school boxers back in like the 50s, and he kind of throws a punch out. He's like, "That's it. Give him the old good 1-2 there, Zolan."
And
And
Anders
Jordan-
followed me over here. He knows what my form looks like right now.
He screams to Zorlin. He's like, "That's it. Keep moving, man. Give him the old 1-2." And Zorlin, you will gain a D8 inspiration die, and you will heal by. How does healing work? 1d4 plus charisma. So you'll heal 6 points, and you gain a D8 of inspiration.
Awesome.
You can use on your attack rolls, saving throws.
How long does that D8 last?
Well, hold on 1 second. Let me look to see.
I don't know if it's permanent or temporary or.
I'm trying to find. I don't really know how bards work, but bardic inspiration. For the next 10 minutes. So it's a D6. The creature can roll the die and add the number of rolls to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw that it just made. The creature can wait until after it rolls the die for the ability check. Blah blah.
Gotcha.
By the way, Tony, you can just say that if Sviska's going to attack me, Everything that I was saying would have continued through his attack. I'm obviously trying to dodge and weave, but I'm not attacking him back, and I'm just talking.
So you're taking the dodge action?
Oh, can I do that? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna take
we
the
can do
dodge
that.
action.
All right. So, yeah, Zorlin, so you feel a little inspired by Anders' words, and Lucky, this guy looks like he's not going to get into the fight, but he's definitely not helping by his word. And Lucky, or Zorlin, you feel a little inspired by his words, like, I can probably take this dude. And Sviska, he just looks down to you, Zorlin, and he goes, shut up. You will answer my question soon enough. And he fires another shot at Zorlin. So,
Son of a
I-
bitch.
I think it says if you haven't taken a turn this round.
No, it said if you haven't taken a turn in the initiative yet. If you're talking about the assassin, since he's had a turn already, then
Oh, yeah, in combat.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's
Or
just
else technically they would have never taken a turn this round.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is just going to be a straight attack. And that's a 17 to hit, so that hits. And I need you to make another Constitution saving throw. Never mind, you're dying. You're not dying. You're unconscious.
Does he have to make saving? Does he have to make death saving
Uh,
throws?
Wait, did it add?
No.
In, did it add in my 8 points, even with my 8 points of or my 6 points of healing or whatever
Yep.
it was?
Don't worry. As soon as it comes to my turn, I'll get you back up.
So, alright, so you automatically fail your saving throw since this was a non-lethal attack, so you're not dying. But the first arrow punctured you in your thigh, and this arrow hits you not dead in the chest, but hits you in the chest.
Hate to be a
What are you
dick,
talking
but
about?
you can't make
That's
a
non-lethal.
you can't make a
No.
non-lethal range attack. It has to be melee.
Well,
Yeah.
this is a non-lethal range attack.
Okay. Your world, DM.
So I automatically failed 2 death saving throws? Really?
No, you don't fail 2 death saving throws. You're not dying.
Oh,
Yeah, you're not dying.
okay.
All right. So, and that's going to end Sviska. So, Lucky, it's
All right, I will come up right y'all and be like, you do understand that that is Shadik or Ulrich. That's the same guy that you wanted us to go out together after this. Could you please stop trying to kill our group? Obviously, something wrong with that. And I will try to grapple Sviska.
go ahead.
Was this just a strength check or do I roll
Yeah,
a
you
hit?
have to make a
Athletics.
athletics check.
Okie dokie.
Nice.
Oh, by 1 point.
Oh my god.
So he's a sly one. This guy seems to be just as acrobatic as you are. And he's just able to stay just right outside of your length. And he responds to you and he says, I'm not trying to kill anyone. This one here is a spy. And he knows information. I will get it out of him. The other one is just too ambitious. But he will wake up soon enough. Unable to move for the next couple hours, but soon enough, wake. And if you really are Ulrich, then turn yourself back true.
Yeah, on my turn, I'll do that.
Yeah, all right. So Zorlin, you're down. I want you to make a death saving throw. If you fail, nothing happens. But if you succeed 3 times or get a nat 20, you wake back up. Yeah. So nothing happens. You're not dying.
Okay.
I don't want
So I drop my form and I go back to looking just like Shadek. And I'm just gonna walk while I'm speaking. I will be in the process of walking over here and pulling out a healer's kit and getting on the ground next to Zorlin, and I'm just gonna start patching him up, and I'm gonna use the healer feat on him. So he gains 1d6 plus 4 hit points plus an additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit dice. So what's his maximum number of hit dice is 5, so you get back 1d6 plus 9 HP. So you get back 11 HP. And I'm just gonna say to him, my words are true. I am no traitor. And quite the contrary, I am a patriot. Now can we please stop fighting?
Am I up? Like, am I awake and conscious now?
And I'm also gonna say, and my position holds true, I refuse to attack a good man.
Am I awake and conscious now?
Yes, but you cannot move.
Why can I not move?
Are you saying that out loud? Because you can speak.
No. I'm asking DM. Why can I not move?
How would you know that?
I got shot with an arrow.
I'm thinking it was probably poisoned.
Make a medicine check, Shadek.
Okay. If I can get to the skill. There we go. Medicine. I don't have advantage on this.
Just roll it. Just roll it.
Yeah, just roll it. 21? Yeah, he is definitely poisoned. And just from the odor of the, like when you pull out the tip of the bolt and you smell the tip, you know exactly what kind of poison.
Okay.
It's
kind
a
is it?
it's a spider. It's a rare spider poison that paralyzes the target.
Ah.
And so you know it doesn't last long, but it will last long enough in the right hand.
Okay. And I immediately, like, I stay kind of knelt down to the ground, and I turn back to Sviska and I say, please, I do not understand why this conflict is occurring. None of this is new information to you. And you do not have to, we do not have to fight for me to be willing to tell you everything I know. I will do so
fucking
freely.
Bastard! As soon as I can move, I'm gonna kick your ass and tear your head off.
Zorlin, this is merely a misunderstanding.
I don't care. I don't get shot twice.
You
Once
are
in the
mistaken.
chest. No, you are mistaken.
Dare-
You will die.
Oh, you shut up on the ground. Just stay there for a while. You are mistaken, Shadek. Darius does not tell us everything. We have other jobs to accomplish, other missions at stake. There's more at stake than you will know. But you will come to learn. I did not know of your dealing with Legion, but now I do.
I mean,
So, why don't
could've
you
just
explain
asked.
to us? I'm not the one who drew first.
By 7.
I was just simply defending myself.
Out the door by 7:45. You have an hour and 15 minutes to get there. It takes 45 minutes to get there. Gives you a buffer. And we have to look it up on your phone before you go, because it doesn't have a street address. It's just got.
Whose mic am I hearing right now?
What's Brandon's?
Okay. I'm just gonna say to him, look, okay, I will tell you everything after you put your weapon away.
He holsters his. He has a little holster behind his back for his hand crossbow, so he puts it back there. But then he moves both of his hands to his daggers. I assure you, these two are more lethal than those darts. Or quarrels. He calls them quarrels.
Okay. I raise both hands up in the air as if to signify I surrender. I'm not going to go for any kind of weapon, and I slowly walk up towards him. I stand about right here, and I look at him and say, I must be frank with you. First, I must ask you who it is that you serve before I divulge this information to you.
I serve no man but myself. We work with Darius on many occasions. As Darius told you in the night's rest, you can trust us as you trust him.
And I
Only
trust Darius.
then you may
Already at this
trust
point.
us.
I
Ulrich
trust
the
no man.
Sun is an alias. My name is actually Shadek Ironhide. I am the son.
That we know. We know of you. But we do not know of your dealings. So, Zorlin, at this time, your body's being picked up by Anders. He says, "Oh, lad, that was a good fight." Wait. That was a good fight. You almost gave him hell.
Hey, Tony, what's the capital of North Mina? I forgot.
Central.
Okay. Central City? Is that
Or
what it's
Crown.
called?
Crown City.
Oh, Crown City. Okay.
Yeah, that bastard's gonna die when I can move again.
Ah, if you can get that close.
I am from
I
Crown
don't need to
City.
get close.
Born to Orin Ironhide. I never knew my mother. My father is a dwarf. Well, the reason I know who Legion is because I was able to contact them to ensure my family's safety, for their safety was in jeopardy following the South's takeover of the North. Currently, Legion is keeping my family safe.
Who gave you this contact information?
I don't know, Tony. Who gave me the contact information?
You don't know.
What do you mean I don't know?
You don't know.
How did I come into contact with Legion initially?
Some random guy.
I don't know who they were. Somebody told me how to contact them. I waited and they found me. I don't know who it was. All I know is that the only reason that my family was not murdered by South Mina. I simply wish to give the prince the same protection. That is all I was after here.
Hey, Svetka, I don't know Shadek for very long, but I can tell you this. He doesn't lie. If anything, he tells too much of the truth to everybody.
He speaks too long. I will report this incident to Darius. He will know what to do with it. Anders, will you be accompanying them back to the inn? And Anders gives a nod. Well, they don't look like the strongest bunch, but I will definitely carry this one. How long will your poison last? Sviska just turns and starts to walk away.
Hey,
That
Svetka?
answer. Sviska.
Svetska? Can
What?
I ask you one thing?
Hmm.
Where did you get that poison? Because that is so cool.
Maybe if you join me on my job, I will allow you to have some. You might need it if you ever work with me.
Okay.
As Sviska turns to walk away, I just want to reach out a hand as if to shake his and say, "Thank you for allowing me to tell my side."
He doesn't shake your hand, and he turns and walks away.
Shadek, I'm gonna kill him. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill him. I'll tell Darius I'm gonna kill him. I don't care. He's gonna die.
Dude, you just got taken down with 2 hand crossbow bolts.
Because of lucky fucking rolls.
Dude, if you were sitting in a chair reading porn, he would have assassinated your ass.
Well, you're lucky this is one of the few moments that Zorlan wasn't sitting in a chair reading porn. That's
Yeah.
a real problem for him.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
that's why I said it.
Yeah, it's a real problem for him. He looks at porn all day
He's just a
long.
constant fapper. I mean, Zorlan, we all know, is just a chronic masturbator.
Right. That's, Tony's lucky he hasn't had a brothel come up yet.
I know.
Gavin, how many brothels have I had in my...
Have you even had one?
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, in my world, there's not in every, but
Yeah,
there's
there
a
are a
brothel
dime
in
a
most
dozen.
cities.
Yeah.
If this is done, I would like to put my hand on Shadek's shoulder and say, Shadek, there's a bright side to all this. Mission accomplished. And I will pull out my fancy hat.
I hope you didn't make any sort of scene acquiring it, but congratulations, friend.
So
I'm
Anders
very
speaks
happy
up.
for you.
Anders speaks up. My friends, let me tell you, have y'all ever had an... Do y'all know of the Freelancers Guild? I assure you, you will find great deeds in there. Ones that simple, unexperienced, he says as he kind of drags Zorlin's limp body. Adventurers will have good times. Many treasures to behold. Many adventures to go on. I will suggest that if you're in need of training, Sviska can be a very hardy teacher, but he is the best.
He is quite skilled. I have seen that firsthand now.
Aye, he's a platinum. He's one of 5 platinums within the Freelance Guild.
So what's this
so-
freelance guild?
Do you believe, Isfizka had wished for us to die, that we would be having this
Oh,
conversation
no
right now?
doubt he would have killed all 3 of you. Y'all are walking back to the main gates, by the way.
Okay.
Now, I probably would not have sat idly by while he murdered all 3 of you, my new-founded compatriots, or else my words of my glorious deeds would have been lost on deaf ears.
So,
Deaf
Anders,
ears. Dead.
let-
Ooh, dead ears. Ha! That has
You-
a nice ring to it.
you are quite the joker, Anders. But if I may ask, if you and this Svizka were to find yourself in a confrontation, who do you believe it is between the two of you that would prevail?
Oh, I have no doubt about it. He would lurk in the shadows and stalk the night. Me, I will fight him valiantly out in the sun. Out in the main way, I will wait. But have you ever heard? Have you ever been? You ever? You ever heard of the saying? How do you find a drow?
Wait, Svizka is he a drow?
No, he doesn't look
Okay.
like a drow.
Okay. I have not, but how is that saying applicable to this circumstance?
Well, do you know the answer?
You ask, is anybody here a drow?
That's a good, mighty guess there, Lucky. Let me tell you.
Is
I will
is there
tell you.
any kind of like racial stereotype about drow where like they like a certain food or they drink a certain thing or they're attracted to something in your setting?
No.
So there's nothing like drow love cheese or anything like that.
Try not to overthink
No.
it
Trying
so
to think.
much.
Yeah, no. Well, it's
No.
not a hard riddle there, Shadek. Let me tell you. As the saying goes, how do you find a drow? You don't. You let them find you. So, as Svizka would stalk the night, anticipating his prey's movement, he will strike when they feel his least vulnerable. But me, I am not so easily taken down. I am always on guard. Ha! And he kind of does like this flashy movement, and he whips out his sword real quick, dropping Zorlin. Oh, shit. And he puts his sword away and picks back up Zorlin.
Zorlin takes 1 bludgeoning damage.
My bad, good sir.
Fuck that! Can you stop dropping my ass? Can we just get there? Fuck,
See-
use an antidote or something. God damn it!
And as I was going to suggest, simply leaving a plate of cheese out in the open so that it might attract them. But, I think your answer to the riddle is better.
Oh, it's not a riddle. It is a fact. For I myself have found myself in the Underdark, me and Svizka, and our other companions. For I myself have earned another platinum within the Fighters Guild. We have 2 other companions that we fought valiantly side by side. We had Lydia and Leo. The 4 of us down in the Underdark. Down there we fought the gelatinous cubes that swept across the floors in the catacombs. But he continues on again in one of his stories. And once again, you all find yourself inspired by the ancient ruins in the Underdark. And the great monstrous hunts of monstrosities. And all the treasure that they found. You all regain 8 temporary hit points.
So does that mean I have 16 now?
No, you can only get temporary hit points from one source, so it just goes back up to 8.
Oh, see, I never lost any. So
Oh, well, you feel inspired, though.
wait, do I have a point of inspiration?
No.
It says that I do.
Oh, well, then you do.
Sweet.
Yeah, you
Alright.
and Lucky both have a point of inspiration. But no, this dude has inspired you. Again. There's just something about his stories when he starts to speak that it's just inspiring.
He's either a valor or a swords bard.
Maybe. And how do I... Oh. That token, delete all tokens. We'll probably never use this alleyway again. Maybe next week when Zorlin pulls his swords on somebody else. So, no offense, Sean, Gavin, but I'm going to start teaching Brandon a lesson about drawing his weapons on the wrong people.
Well, he picks a fight with everybody.
He'll learn. I didn't want to kill off his character, even though I fully know those rules, but I don't want to kill off all of his characters.
Well, I mean,
In his
just to,
defense, he was kind of running to me with somebody standing there, like, with me on the ground.
Yeah,
Well,
I understand.
it was the same thing though. Like, and I even mentioned this to Gavin the other day in Gavin's campaign, and he's playing the Blood Hunter guy, Paragon, and he's like, "Oh, all he's about to do is he just wants to kill the Lich." All right, well, here's the commander of this entire armed forces that they're trying to just take down the Lich. Well, I'm gonna go pick a fight with that guy. Why? He's commanding troops to help you with your goal. Why would you go after him?
Let's get back to it, because So, y'all are back at the Knight's Inn.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing?
Are we resting for? I thought we were going out to the thing, like the student after we finish with the council meeting to go with
Yeah.
What's his face?
Anders informs y'all. Well, with this unfortunate event, I suggest that we ride out tomorrow at dawn. I wanted to ride today so we can get a good hunt for the night, but your friend is weary.
Now, I'm a little apprehensive, Anders. What if during this adventure, the prince is to be taken, and we are not even here for the event?
I don't believe the prince will be taken anywhere. What do you mean, like kidnapped? That's preposterous.
Taken by Mina United, as they call themselves.
Shadik, your wording is very unusual. Now, my trip will take a 10-day. I don't know how long this posed war will last, but I can promise you great valor and victory where I shall be going.
How long
Why
did you
go
say
to
we would
fight?
be gone?
A 10-day.
10 days.
Yes, a 10-day.
Could we perhaps delay? I would very much like to go with you on this, but
That's true. I just say 10-day because that's an accurate reading of... Normally, I like to be on my hunts for a while.
I
Now, when
understand. But what if the prince is taken while we are gone? You heard it yourself in there, that the king wishes to take him whether he wants to go or not. What if this motion is approved, and we are not even here?
Look, Shadik, I will be honest with you, or Ulrich, whichever you wish to be called.
Among friends, and only friends.
These are political matters. Think about this. This is a web. This entire city is one large web. You make the wrong tug, you shake the entire fort. Word I'm looking at. I just lost the word. Anyways, he tells you that you shake the entire infrastructure of this city. You shake the wrong strand, you tug on it one wrong way, and it's loose. You cannot storm a noble district, acquire the prince, or even seek. We can go and seek his counsel tonight. We can do it right now.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
I would very much like to do this, yes. Wait, whose council? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
The princes.
Yes, I would very much like to speak to the prince.
Well, unfortunately, you might be in a little bit of trouble with Darius when he returns. But that is no worry.
Why would I be in trouble with Darius?
Well, it would seem that Sviska learned more information than he was let on. That or Darius already knew information. Either way, he might have questions for you later too.
And among friends,
Look,
I will answer these questions honestly.
I will let you know Darius he's dangerous. He's a formidable foe, not only in combat but within these political webs. He is dangerous. But he is the most noblest of allies and greatest of friends I have ever known.
Now, question. How did Darius come by such power and influence? That is not easy to gain. I still find it interesting that he has these connections when, to the common folk, he is simply a celebrity, a well-reputable musician. So, how does a musician come by such resources? That I do not understand.
The musician part is just a front. He's retired. He used to be an adventurer. He used to go with Anderson himself. If you know who Anderson is.
I probably don't know who that is, do I, Tony?
Roller.
History, maybe?
Well,
History?
he would address Anderson by his full title, which is what is that? Testing.
Oh, I was just sending you a message to see if I'd be able to whisper something to you and only you.
Okay.
It works.
So he calls him Grand Admiral Anderson. And roll a d20 if you recognize that name.
Oh, so this can't be like a history check?
Nope.
Alright. Damn it.
Oh. So he also drops another name, Christopher Judge. So roll another d20 for that. So you've heard stories of Christopher Judge, and he was a big time how do I put it? So you've heard stories, and Christopher Judge is a legendary swordsman, and he was ruthless in battle, fought in many arenas, and he went city to city probably about 40-50 years ago. He went city to city battling everyone he could, whether it's in the streets or arenas, and most of the time they were death matches, and he would just dominate over his foes. Him and Anderson, Grand Admiral Anderson, were knighted by the High King themselves. This is what Anders tells you, is that they were knighted by the High King themselves. Darius did not want anything to do with a knighthood and denied his knighthood, where Grand Admiral joined the ranks and Christopher Judge left and did not want anything. Like, after he was knighted, he retired. And
Okay.
the story goes is he hasn't fought since, but the Grand Admiral goes and he is basically the right hand of the High King and only appears in certain instances. You now are listening upon the description of the man. Yeah, no, your other character isn't here, so he wouldn't know. But yeah, you wouldn't know unless your other character was here. Your other character would know more.
Really?
Yep. Your other character's met him once before.
Dude, my other character, just got here from the Outer Planes.
Yep, and he was one of the first people that he talked to.
Was that the dude that rode by on the horse?
Yeah, it was.
Ah, okay. Alright, gotcha.
So, He also tells you that Darius was one of the grand adventurers in this big adventuring party. There was 12 members. Over the past 15 years, several of them have either died of old age, which Darius, in the 10 years that Anders has known Darius has not aged a day, which is bewildering, but at the same time,
It's
he
only
believes
10 years.
since that Anders has known him. He said normally 10 years people either grow crow's feet or within 10, because if you think about it, from the timeline that Anders is telling you, puts Darius somewhere in his 70s, but he doesn't look like he's in his 70s. And neither did the guy on
Okay.
the horse. He didn't either.
Hey, can we pause for like 2 minutes so I can go
No.
take a piss real quick?
No. But y'all are
Please?
heading back up to the Noble District. So yeah, as y'all were
Okay.
talking.
All right, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. If there's anything specifically Lucky wants to do, then feel free. But
Yep.
give me
Lucky?
like 2 minutes.
Lucky?
Yes.
Is there anything you want to do?
I mean, it depends. What are we doing? We just hanging out at the inn?
No, y'all were on y'all's way back up through to the High District.
Oh, back to where our room is.
Yeah. Y'all are going to where Aloran is.
I will say this. I remember hearing a kid go on about, saying that there was a sale for fancy hats. I would keep an eye out for the fancy hats. Last session, there was a crier that was going on about fancy hats.
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing.
It's not even 10 o'clock yet.
What are you talking about?
Brandon said he had to leave at 10 and he hopped off.
Yeah, apparently he has to go take a shower and everything first. So.
I do that literally as soon as I get home, although it takes me like 2 minutes to take a shower, so I don't believe in staying in bathrooms very long. I just do my business and get out. I actually have been putting everything into Word documents, but I actually have to get out my old notebook. When we were playing at Chris's house, I would take my notebook with me so that I could actually look up Christopher Judge and Grand Admiral Anderson.
All right, I am back. So I'm still. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm still kind of hoping to meet with somebody from Legion.
At
So-
any point that we're doing this, if I would like to pull Shadek off to the side and have a chat with him.
Okay.
I don't know if we are doing this while we're walking with Anders or whatever.
Yeah,
but
y'all could fall back a little bit.
yeah, Shadek, can
Y'all
I
wanna
have
fall back like
a word?
feet?
Of course, Lucky.
What was it that the rogue dude, the assassin, what was it that you said to him that set him off?
Simply that I wish to, in exchange for something very valuable, I wish for them to collect the prince, bring him to me so I can ensure him that he is safe. I do not wish him to be scared. So that he may be kept safe and protected and out of reach.
Yeah, I know you want to keep the prince safe, but were you offering to sell your golem again?
I was going to give them, and I'm saying this very quiet. At this point, I get up to kind of my head kind of close to Lucky's to the point where I can whisper. I was going to give them fake blueprints to a firearm that, when built, would make something that would function efficiently.
What's a firearm? Is that your golem?
That's the thing that you see me fight with.
Your
I was
golem.
going to give them my what?
Your golem.
You mean it's called a gun.
Oh, I thought it was golem.
No, it's called a gun.
Oh.
G-U-N, gun. It would appear to them, but somebody who does not have knowledge of how to build one would be very convincing and make them
Shady,
believe that they could build
Can
one.
I make a suggestion? Stop
What's that?
with that. I don't know what's going on in the city and everyone involved, but it seems like I'm not the only one that doesn't know. I don't mean to be rude, but I mean, I know that I have no idea what's happening in the city, but looking at you and Zorlin, I get the impression I'm not the only one. Maybe you guys have a better idea of how things work here, but overall, it seems like we're all coming into this pretty blind. How do I say this? I don't think we can really make a move with the prince or anything else until we have a better understanding of what's going on here.
I know what I do understand from that meeting is that the king wishes to take him whether he wants to go or not.
Right, but how? We have no allies here except for people that we don't know anything about, who have abilities that we don't
It was
understand.
a desperate move, but I believed that Legion was the prince's safety.
So let me put this to you. Where I come from, we barter. We know what we have, we know what we're getting. I give something to somebody, and I have a good idea of what I'm getting in return. But it seems you're offering up either something that you know is worth of no value to get something that you have no idea what it's going to be worth, or you're offering something up that has such tremendous value that you have nothing else afterward. It's either you're offering a lie that might get you something, but you have no idea what it's going to get you in return, or you're offering the one thing that you can offer, and then you won't have anything to offer after that. I just think before we do anything else, before we barter or we try and do anything else here, we need to learn what's going on in the city or who we're dealing with before we make any more trades or promises. I just
It
think
was a
the more you do this,
calculated
though.
risk.
But is
The
it?
risk was, yes.
Shade, let me ask you this. Once you give up these blueprints to your gun and your firearms, what else do you have to offer these people? What stops them from turning their back on you? What?
I'm an inventor. They wish for my mind. As long as I have that, as far as they're concerned, I believe I have infinite amounts
I
of
don't.
things that I can give them.
If it's as powerful as you say it is, I don't think they need you once they have the blueprints that work. And if you give them fake blueprints, then they're not going to trust you or your mind because they know that it's not actually worthwhile. They'll either think that you're not as good of an inventor as you think you are, or you're just not trustworthy at all.
Or perhaps they did not have a skilled enough tinkerer to properly build one.
That's a lot of ifs. Your calculated risk has a lot of bad results.
Even if they were able to figure out how to build one properly, the risk is, which I believe, as far as determining the future safety of my kingdom, that they have access to firearms, but my kingdom still has a prince to lead it when it is retaken.
But do you know where your prince would go if they took him? Where he would be? Where he could grow? He's only 10. You're talking about these people taking him and raising him. Are you raising him? Is Legion, the people that you don't even trust with the secrets of this, raising him? Who takes him? Who raises him?
Legion, while being
The
a very
same people that
shadowy
you don't
organization,
trust to tell them your secret is
The
going to
same
raise a
people.
10-year-old boy?
the same people who are keeping my family safe. I have to believe.
There's a difference between keeping people hidden and raising a child.
He would not be with them forever. Parts of the deal would be that he would be safely returned to Mina when the North regains its independence.
That's beyond me. I don't know how the city
Legion.
structure works.
holds their deals for all that they're worth, for all that one might say about this malicious organization. One thing that they have is pride, and that they keep their end of whatever bargain it is they make.
Shadik, I think you're smarter about these things than I am, and I'm only trying to just take things in from my perspective. But you're putting your trust that these people would take a 10-year-old boy and steal him away on the hope that you give them a false promise and bad plans, and they'll be happy enough with you to work with you to do what you want later.
The blueprints would work, just not as efficiently as they could.
Okay,
Assuming they had a skilled enough blacksmith to build.
but it seems if these people are capable enough to do all of this, they would be capable enough to figure out that something's wrong with your blueprints. I mean, if they have the connections that they do, that you say that they have, then they should have a good enough blacksmith or anything else. You
It would be the blueprints
understand?
to an earlier model, to an earlier imperfect model.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, if they're not happy with the results, you now have these people, best case scenario, are holding a 10-year-old boy captive that aren't happy with the results.
They'd
I,
still be happy. It would function.
I'm just saying, it seems like we need to find out more about them, or make friends in this town, or find out, or have better pieces to barter with, than to use your one ace in the hole for this. But you do
Lucky,
what
it
you
is
want to
worth
do, Shadik. That's just
everything.
not the way that we do things where I come from.
It is worth everything to assure this prince's safety. If they get him, all is lost.
As long as you know what you're doing, Shadik. I don't understand what's happening here, but that was my two copper on it.
And I do appreciate that. I do appreciate your counsel. But I feel the risk is worth the reward. For I don't know what else to do, Lucky. I don't know of any other way to assure the prince's safety. We can't get to him. We can't
What?
get him out of the
But
city.
we
And the
can.
point is that
We're
if we
headed.
do get him out of the city, they're right. How is he in any better hands with us than he would have been here?
But
He's
Shadik,
not.
we're headed to him right now. We have a Lauren that is in the same house with him. We have friends that can get us to him. I would think that's a better path to take than trying to deal with people that you don't trust enough with your secrets to try and take care of a 10-year-old boy.
And then let's say we do get him. What happens next? Huh?
I have
We carry a
no
10-year-old
idea.
boy. We carry a 10-year-old boy on the road with us. We become targets, tracked. We cannot hide from them.
So then why don't we come up with an idea for that instead of trying to put people we don't trust in charge of him? I don't know, Shadik. I don't know this kid. I don't understand why you have such an attachment to him.
Because he's all that is left of North Meanan royalty. He is the heir to the throne.
Oh, then if he's the heir to the throne, then why are other people telling him what to do?
Because as the point that they make, he is still just a child.
Well, I'm not a child. Does that mean I get to tell him what to do?
Of course you do not. I fear that they may believe the current the current person sitting on the throne of South Mina may be able to tell him what to do, may rightfully be able to tell him what to do. And it's all I have, Lucky. I don't know how to keep him safe. I don't believe I am capable of keeping him safe. I don't believe all of us combined is capable of keeping him safe. But in the hands of Legion, he would not be found unless they wanted him to be. That I can guarantee. And they would
Okay.
keep their end of whatever bargain I made with them. Those are the
Uh,
only two things I know, and it's the best I have to go with. Believe me, this is not Plan B. This is even Plan C. This is Plan Z as far as I'm concerned. But it's all I have.
mm, Hmm. I don't I don't know why you would put so much at risk if you don't even have faith in your own plan. It sounds like this would be a good time to find out more to make a better plan.
I will keep an ear to the ground and see if another opportunity presents itself. But if it does not, I will still continue attempting to reach Legion.
Well, why don't we follow and go talk to the prince? But if you just keep in mind what I said, maybe another opportunity will come up like you're hoping for.
We shall see.
And I will continue on with our little journey.
Yep, I'll do the same.
All right, so you're continuing y'all's journey up to House Ulavan, which getting through the gates this time is a little bit. It's just as easy as with Darius going through with this knight or this knighted figure. As so he turns back and he looks at y'all. Are you done whispering to each other?
Okay.
That was a question.
Yes, we are done. We were merely discussing our
All right,
possible
please.
courses of action on our impending adventure.
Please come close. Listen. Get to House Ulavan, you let me do the talking.
I understand.
So, as you get. Alright, so if y'all both wouldn't mind pulling up the map.
Oh, the one that we were in combat in? I've already closed that.
Nope, not that one. The map of Tarsus.
Can you share that?
Nope,
Or is that in Discord?
it's in Discord.
Okay.
Alright. Let me know when y'all both have the map in.
Map of
That's in your
Tarsus.
channel on here. Okay, Port Tarsus. I have the map.
Okay.
Alright. So, do y'all see section 1? It's up in the very top left of the map.
I don't see numbers.
Oh, you gotta zoom in a little bit.
Okay, let me click
You
open
gotta
original so it'll actually pop up.
Said zone 1.
Yep.
Oh, and Tony, just in the future, might want to put this on Discord. Or not on Discord, I mean on Fantasy Grounds. That way it'll actually show up in the stream.
It shows up in the stream.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he
You
has
keep
it up.
talking too.
Anyways, so do y'all see zone 1?
Yeah.
Okay, zone 1 is not only is there a lighthouse, that circular part down at the bottom, that's a lighthouse for Tarsus. And then you'll see there's 2 gates. So the gates is House Ulavan. All that's in here, House Ulavan, the lighthouse and everything that's here belongs to the noble family House Ulavan. That whole section.
Okay.
So that's where y'all are approaching the first set of gate.
And that area kind of to the east of Zone 1, like kind of to the northeast, is that where that meeting was?
No,
The
that
council?
is so. You see where 5 and 6 is?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me pull up. I can't remember if it's 5. I think it's 5 and 6. 5 is the Capitol building and the High Court location. 6 is the residential district of nobles and guild houses. Number 2 is the gladiatorial arena and theater district.
Okay, so that area that I was talking about is an arena.
Yeah,
That
that's
like
the gladiatorial.
oval-like structure.
Yep. Looks like a racetrack, like a football field,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah. So, approaching the gates, you see Anders goes and he speaks with the guard and he tells you, I'm able to get us through the first gates. This is easy enough as I am knighted through the Ulavan family. The second gates is a little bit more difficult as those are the private residence area for the family themselves. It's not a large family, but mainly only servants go in there unless you are called. There are quarters here, and also Sviska is knighted with the Ulavan family as well.
Is Sviska also part of the free merchants, the freelance guild?
Yes. Him and I are both platinum level, not adventurers, but freelance.
Okay. I think I can get us through the next gate.
How?
I mean, there's people at the gate, right?
Yes.
Can I talk to them?
So these guards look different. All of these guards, they have staves with a white opalescent kind of swirling mist on the inside of the top of the crystal ball. So
Mhm.
there are these staves with white crystals with like a mist swirling on the inside, and they're all elven, and they all dress very not regal, but kind of it looks fancy, but not fancy at the same time. Like you've seen some people that were just ridiculous, and these people are just kind of like your common noble folk kind of style. They don't have armaments. Some people have a couple daggers on their hips, some of the guards, but they don't have broadswords and bows and crossbows. Unless you look at the guardsmen on top of the walls, on the outer wall has two archers, but the inner wall doesn't have anyone on top of it, and it has two guards in the front.
Okay.
So what are y'all doing?
I will go up to who was ever working the gate, and I will have my regal suit on and just mosey on up. Like I don't know if I've seen other people walking around all regal and whatnot. I will act like
Okay.
them.
All right. Well, the moment you approach a guard, he lifts his hand. Halt! I know not ye. State your business and name.
I know not ye either, but my name is Lucky Cloud. What's yours?
State your business.
I have been summoned by one Miss Aloran, and I have an attendance with her post haste.
Your name is Lucky Cloud.
That is correct.
He turns to the other side. So there's a portcullis between these two guards, and on the other side of the portcullis is two other guards. So he turns to the other side of the portcullis and he gives a nod to the guy on the other side, and the other guy gives a nod back. And he lifts up his staff and lightly taps him on the ground, and the guy just fades in the mist. And then the guard turns back to you and resumes his post, standing still.
So is that a yes?
They don't answer you anymore.
If you
They-
just would simply ask Lady Aloran, tell her his name, she would recognize his name, and I believe she would request to see us.
For the peace of the kingdom.
For king and country.
For king and country. For the peace of the kingdom.
Nice fish fishing, ain't it?
So as y'all continue speaking, he says, "Silence. A messenger will run to Lady Aloran. If she wishes your audience, the messenger will come back and let us know. Until then, you wait."
You could have just said that to begin with. Hey, do you want to play some sticks in the meantime?
He continues to sit there.
My
Hold on.
friend
Lord
Lucky
be-
here is quite skilled at dice as well. Here, Lucky, if he doesn't wish to play sticks, I will play sticks.
So
Nice.
Andrews kind of steps up and he's like, "I would not mess with them. These are the royal guards. They will hold their position until they die. They have no time for your games."
Well, would these guards oppose us playing sticks while we wait?
No, as long as you don't. It shouldn't be long. And as soon as he finishes the conversation, the one guard that disappeared earlier reappears right beside him. And he states, "Lady Aloran will see you now. Please follow me."
I will
and he
turn to Anders
turns-
and just say, "See, I told you. Sometimes all you gotta do is ask."
And as he turns around facing the portcullis raises. And Andis goes, "By the gods, who is this Aloran?"
She's my
She
friend.
this fine ass elf. No, I don't say that though.
She's an elf? Well, of course she's an elf. Why would she be within the grounds of House Aloran if she wasn't an elf?
Well, you can ask her when you see her.
And how did y'all come upon meeting a family member or a noble one of the elven family?
She was. Let's just say you've gained some friends from your adventures, and we've gained some as well.
Her last name is Neldor, by the way.
Okay.
So this elf takes you up into one of the. So as everything else in the city is made of marble, and fine stone, and all this other stuff, this place is different. It looks a lot naturalistic gardens. The houses, some of the houses seems that they use some type of nature magic to grow up their walls. Their walls aren't just lumber that's been built. These houses look as though the trees themselves built up to create the walls, and their branches create the roofs. Some of the
Are these
roofs,
primarily high elves in this house, or are there some wood elves in there too?
there's both.
Okay.
In this first section, it looks like more wood elves than high elves, but as you go into the next section, this is in the second section with the lighthouse, this is a lot different. There is white stone mixed with a lot of glass. There's giant bay windows on every house and building to allow in the most amount of sunlight as possible into these houses. You see this one building in the very center that just looks immaculate, and you figure this is the house of House Lauren. And he takes you up to this one guard takes you up to the house, and he makes a right turn and a left turn to the right and leads y'all to a central dining hall where Lauren and Serge both sit at a table.
Hey,
And
Lauren.
Serge stands and he goes, "My friends, it's nice to see you all."
I will go up and give Serge a hug.
He hugs you back.
I go up and give him a firm handshake and just say, "Salutations, comrade."
I figured we wouldn't see each other for at least a fortnight. I feel like it's been days. He's wearing a tunic, not his standard plate armor.
Well, it is a crucial time for our homeland. I believe us Menans need to stick together in such times of crisis. Do you not agree?
I do. And at this time, two more people walk in. One with dark brown hair, shorter figure, shorter human, and another human with really dark skin and dreadlocks comes in right beside them as they're both talking and chattering, and they're wearing the same tunic as Serge. And you see all three of them have the same crest of Mina on their chest with the crest of Knights of the Crown. And then Serge tells you, "This right here, this is Jason Aldarin. He is one of the Knights of the Crown." And he points to the shorter white guy with brown hair. And he says, "And this right here is Tomeric Dunlar."
So there's Jason Alderic and Tolmeric Dune. Oh, all right. I'm gonna need these names. Alderic. Is that how you spell Alderic?
Yes.
And Tolmeric, like turmeric with an L.
Tome. T-O, like Tom Burick.
Okay. Tomberick.
Yes.
Dunmar.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
Hold on.
I feel like
Did you-
it's
So did you
from
get their
now on.
names?
Yeah, I got their
Okay.
name. I feel like from now on in Tony's campaign, I might be the person doing the recap.
And he tells you, he says, Tomeric and Jason both got the prince out, with myself and one more included. Fourth, Alderin, he didn't make it. He was slain fleeing. But if you would, Zorlin, these have a very interesting
You
story.
said Zorlin.
Shading, if you would not mind, these two have a very interesting story to tell you. if we get time tonight, I want you to listen to their story.
I would love to hear it. As
So,
far as I'm concerned, all present here are brethren. We all
So-
fight for the same cause.
Lauren sticks out her hand, not in like a shaking, like she's gonna shake your hand, but you know how like some like her hand's like at a 45-degree angle in front of her, and she's just outstretching her hand to the both of you. It is good to see you again, both Lucky and Shadek.
Hey, Lauren, I got something for you. And I will take out the fancy hat and I will give it to her.
Oh, this is a stuffed animal. How sad. I will perform the burial rites on this animal. Thank you so much, Lucky.
Do you not like it? I got it for you.
Lucky, you and I are from two different places. Allow me to explain. High elves uphold the natural flow of life above all. To slay such a paltry beast just to decorate it as a hat is barbaric. This is hideous. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
So I take it, Lucky, that she doesn't like the hat.
Well, what kind of hats do you like? I'll try and do better next time.
What'd you say?
He said he'll try to do better.
what kind of hats do you like? Because I thought you'd like this one, but you don't.
None.
You don't like hats?
It's nice.
Well, here, Lauren, have some berries. I have some nice berries, since we're all giving gifts to Lauren. They're quite delicious. As I pull out the, as you expressed multiple times, very plump blueberries.
Yeah. They're very
I
plump
think
blueberries.
plump was the word of the session.
Yeah. Because they were super plump.
Very plump.
So the three knights take a seat at the table, and Anders sits down and he shakes all three of their hands and he says, "Glorious day it is. Gentlemen, knights of the crown I see. For I myself have been to Mina once or twice. I remember I took the high roads of Thorbarden. Would you like to hear my tale?" And the three knights, Serge, Jason, and Tumberic, sit down and they listen to the same tale that y'all heard earlier of the Yetis and the treasure and everything. It's almost as if it was rehearsed. It's the same exact story, little tiny details. Some have changed, but it's the same story nonetheless.
I just saw your picture. That's fun.
Of who? What?
Sean and I are sharing notes, but he drew some pictures. His are like picture notes.
Oh, okay. I want to see these notes.
They're player notes.
Oh, okay. But yes, so Lauren sits down. She says, "Well, please tell me, what is it that y'all have discovered? Have you discovered anything?"
I discovered you don't like my hat.
It's not that I don't like the hat. I don't like the animal and what was presented, what has been done to it. Why are y'all here? I thought y'all were investigating the lower districts or something.
We needed to speak with you about. I understand the prince is under the care of, and what's that house's fucking name, of House
Ullavan.
Ullavan.
Yes, he's here. Serge has been with him non-stop since we arrived.
So I assume nobody in this room, nobody here, would be willing to go along with any plan to relinquish the prince to King Arethus.
See, the word relinquish That's a very strong word there, Shading.
I use a strong word intentionally, for that's what it would be if he would have fallen into their hands.
He has no bonds here. If he wished to run and jump off the cliff, no one would stop him.
Well, I would hope if royalty meant to drop off a cliff, that he would be stopped from such a course of action. For his doom would be just as assured, should he leave here with them.
I'm not so sure. As Serge mentioned earlier, that these two other fellows, knights, I apologize, they have quite an interesting story to tell.
Perhaps we should hear their story. But being the people who helped him escape from that land, I would assume that they would not be willing to merely give him right back after they took such great sacrifices to get him out of there in the first place.
So, Toombrick speaks up and he says, what'd you say his name was again? And then Serge says, Shadik. Yeah, Shadik's his name. And then Toombrick turns back to you and he says, Shadik, I heard what you said, and I think the situation is more dangerous than you think. Here he's protected. We protect him. The three of us. The House of Ulvarin protect him. But I don't know how far that can go.
You do not wish for him to go back, do you? You must understand how foolhardy such an action would be.
So guys, I think we're gonna end it here tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna end it here because there's a lot going on more to all of this, and yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Hey, did I tell you his name was Jason or Jason?
Jason.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Jason
'Cause-
Alderic and Turmeric Dunmar.
Because for some reason I have an extra S and an extra A. Jaasson, which I think it's just a typo.
Yeah. I will shut down the stream.
Yeah, shut down the